Welcome, everybody. Now we're on to some Legally Cute. Tonight is going to be the Legally Cute Weird stream night. We are having two fantastic games going on tonight. I am excited for both of them. I am excited for Rain World. I'm trying not to say Wayne's World, okay? Please forgive me if I say it, but Rain World. And we're going to do the 100% Survivor. And then we're going to be featuring the runner Ice. Very, very excited. And then our second game later on will be Karmaflow, the rock opera video game. It's going to be so much fun. And that's going to be run by Midnight Vesper. And so right now we're going to take it away. I'm going to do a lovely countdown. But before I do you want to introduce yourself, Ice, and give us a little information about yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Iced. I primarily run Rain World. I've run a few other games in the past, but this is a game I've spent a lot of time on, and I've put a lot of time into 100% specifically. I really want to show off the Survivor run today. Right now, I have Monk up just to have the little rain effect, but we will not be playing as the donut here. But we'll change over. But yeah.
All right. On that note, I'm going to do a countdown. You ready?
Yep.
All right, on the count of 3, 2, 1, go.
Ooh, pressing the wrong buttons. Okay. All right, so there's a lot of things to explain. I just realized that I messed something up there, but that's fine. So normally we skip the intro cutscene by holding the S key when we fill up the circle. I think one of my binds got undone. I'm playing on controller for people who ask. For people who are like, which control scheme is better between controller and keyboard? At the end of the day, it's really what you care about.
I honestly, me personally, I run all my video games on controller. Every single one of them.
Yep. Controller is always nice because, I don't know, for keyboard, having a hand on a flat surface can be a lot if you're doing it for quite a while. So there's a lot of specific movements that I'm doing, and I will get to explain them as I can. That's very specific backflip jump off that pole, where basically if we do it at a good distance away and press jump at a right time, we actually jump in the air slightly. I'm not going to worry about that one though. There's one of the first enemies of the game, that being the green lizard. We'll be seeing a lot of different lizards through the game. I should have gotten the other berry, but that's fine. I'm not going to worry too much about messing things up, as this is 100%. We have a lot of leniency for different things. For 100%, our requirements for stuff that we need to be doing is, I'll mess that up a little bit, is we need to get all 10 of the passages, meet six certain types of NPCs, 2 other types of NPCs, bring one of the NPCs something from the other one, and then beat the game. Right now, we're doing one of the important glitches of the game. We're gonna have a little downtime here for about 2 or so minutes. That being the karma caching. So one of the big things of this game, if you see the symbol in the bottom left inside of a circle surrounded by a bunch of little dots, we need that to be a bit higher. That and the first passage of all the 10 passages is a gate from us to get all the other passages. So we need it immediately. And that we get by having the highest karma. We get our karma up by sleeping successfully multiple times. And so now we're doing it for the 4th time, going up to the 4th thing on the karma ladder. Effectively for karma caching, what we're doing is we're getting enough food to sleep normally, which is we fill in 4 circles, we ate 4 things, and I get 2 more food, well, 1 more food to be able to starve. If I hold down while in a shelter, I can starve, which allows us to save while we're in a shelter, but it doesn't actually save the game. It progresses to the next shelter, the next cycle, but it doesn't save.
Wait, what?
And we can abuse that by quitting out immediately, and that triggers the safety feature of you don't lose your karma, but because it didn't actually save, we can then do it again and again, and then just keep going up. Maybe that didn't entirely make sense, but we're basically glitching out the little safety feature of people who just started a cycle, didn't mean to. They can quit out for 30 seconds and then they don't lose their karma. We do that with the cycle that doesn't save, and then everything resets, do it again, just keep going. So we need to do this enough times so that we've gotten 4 of the 5 pips into the survivor passage. And then we're going to be going over to farm arrays, which is the area to the left. And now I can talk a little bit about this game. This game is very much an open world. It is a survival platformer, is how I would explain it. Putting it more, if you say it more as a platformer, you're going to be our Metroidvania. That's not really what you're going to be getting into, as you need to be prepared to, well, try to stay alive and try to learn about what's going on when you're dealing with this game. All right, so now I am good to go. We're going to be passing a scavenger toll here in a bit, and one of the big passages that is going to matter quite a lot requires us to become friends with the scavengers. And scavengers are scary because alike to us, ooh, this guy's in a fun spot. Please fall down. Okay. That's good too. Like to us, they can use spears, and if you can imagine, AI with spears can be a little scary. A little bit of the movement I do there with a basic slide, which is just me holding down in a diagonal and directional, and jump. If I throw backwards instead of jumping out of it at a certain time, it'll extend the slide across flat ground. I can still jump out of it at the end if I time that correctly as well. There's a lot of movement in this game. This game doesn't teach you at all. The only movement that it really teaches you is the basic static pounce. Here is a creature of the game called a squid cicada. We can grab them, and they effectively work as balloons, I guess is a good way to put it. But they can help us jump higher, but they require us to hold them with 2 hands. And there's squid cicadas in the area, well, noodle flies in the area as well. Pole hopping. I need this flower for something in a little bit. Then we're moving on. This room is sketchy. Oh, we took a little long to get here. Normally when we get here, the next room loads in, which means these guys come through that pipe on the left right when we get here. If you've noticed as I've played so far, this game is room-based, so we have to go between pipes, go through pipes to go between rooms. And so that can affect quite a lot because it bottlenecks us in certain locations. Right now, purple lizards are generally the danger for a bit. Takes a little while to load, we're good. He went back to the left. These two should be fine. I'm gonna throw this here. This will scare the lizards and they should go to the right. I do not want them to walk into the toll. Come to me, scavengers. We'll drop these 2. That guy raised a spear at me for some reason. That might have been Iggy in the area. And I have to give them enough stuff so that they'll allow me to get by, and then anything extra I give them counts as extra rep. And that's how we cheese the tolls. By that extra rep counts as the same amount of rep as giving a pearl, which is plus 10. We can go to plus 50 in a cycle. Normally the spears are plus 3, so that's pretty effective. I wanted a bit more things to spawn on the left there, but we didn't get that. So I'm gonna give them this last thing and then we're going on. So here's the one sketchy thing that I am scared of. And that is part of the run is I have to steal a pearl from these guys right now. I might... This guy is in the way. I need to be at the top of this. We might die, which means we'll have to do this cycle again. Looks like they were fine with it. If we're at the 50 karma, 50 rep with them, which apparently I was, they won't care about us taking it. And I didn't think we were. So that's really good. That's a good time to die. And now this is a gate. Each of the gates are, you have to have a certain amount of karma to go between regions. We had to have the full 5 karma. We had to be at the top karma to even get in here. And now we're gonna immediately sleep because we ate enough food as we came here. And then we're gonna start dealing with one of those first NPCs I talked about. And we're gonna start getting the first passage, that being Survivor. When we get certain passages, it's gonna force us to watch the animation, which is a little annoying. The only thing we can do is hold map to make it go slightly faster. So now we get Survivor, and we move on. Keep this pearl in here, we don't need it. We're actually going to die this cycle. The one thing that I could have done is that flower I actually had makes it so that when you die, you don't actually go down in karma. But I wanted a easy way to get past the scavengers instead of that. So we're going to have to karma cache once while we're here, which isn't too bad of a time loss. That was only just a recent thing that we've thought about. And now we're going to go to technically where the first NPC is. These 6 NPCs that we need to meet are called echoes. That's not a good sign. Come to me. Ooh. Blue lizards can outspeed us here. All right, so the echoes, you have to get this flash here, and then the next time we come here with maximum karma, we do that on purpose. Next time we come there with maximum karma, they will be there for lore reasons, because they're large, spooky ghosts that shouldn't be there.
Spooky ghosts, you say?
Yes.
Oh.
I don't know how to entirely explain it other than that.
Okay, I'll take some spooky ghosts.
And then we'll see where Chieftain's at. That is not as much as I was hoping it would be, but we have backups for that. All right, so now we're going to be going back over there. Everything you'll notice will be gray, and there'll be different music playing. As we'll go on, you'll notice that the music for all of the echoes all sounds the same, but they're actually not the same. All of them are unique, I believe. I think some might share some, but otherwise they're all the same. All right. And see what else we can deal with here. But now after this, we're going to be going back into Outskirts. And we're going down into Drainage, which for Rain World, only having 2 water levels, I think is pretty good. So we see the big spooky ghosts and we white out. And then our maximum karma goes up, which is a big deal in terms of the game. Won't fully say everything, but it's, if you want to finish the game, you'll be wanting to get your karma to go up. But one thing I do have to say is that when you play this game, I would not be worried, when we played this game the first time, I would not be worried about finishing it. Because if you're worried about doing something very specific, you are going to have a bad time and miss out on some things. So I pop that popcorn with a spear, and then we specifically eat to 1 less than full, because when I sleep in this next area, I then want to be starved in the area after that, so I can quit out immediately, be back where I immediately slept, but still get the Wanderer passage pip for sleeping once in every region. Additionally, wherever we get the Survivor passage, I forgot the pearl, and that's a problem. I might just purposely die here. I think that's probably the better play. I'm gonna purposely die here. Hit me in the face right now.
There
Okay.
there was
I made a mistake on that.
there was a couple of questions in chat about they're like explaining that controlling the slug cat is really hard. Like it takes a lot.
Yes. So I've spent a lot of time working with this. I personally don't do too much time dealing with specifically learning certain things. More of doing it and being like, I could use this thing that I know exists, and then just keep trying to work on that thing at that specific location as you go on. Having tools are always nice, but it's certainly something you have to be prepared to learn and teach yourself. And then still the thing where there's not a lot that's told to you by the game itself. This toll is sketchy for a lot of reasons, and not all of them are easily explained. Okay, we're good, but this guy's still alive. So this is the worst toll in the game, as I like to call it, for a few reasons. Like this purple just being here is always a strange thing that happens. Another way to put things. If I go back to the left without having, so if I'm coming from farmways, I go back to the left without having paid the toll, the game thinks that we passed the toll illegally. And so all the scavengers will then try to kill us. Sometimes when we give them a bunch of stuff, they all go away when I want to give them more stuff, like right now. They're probably on the right side of the room. And when we try to pay the toll from also coming from the left, they often will not see you if you're up on the top pedestal, which is why I jumped down. So a lot of people who don't understand these specifics about the toll can easily accidentally die, and then with scavengers throwing things around, they tend to miss sometimes and then hit you in the face. I'd rather kill that green if I can, but I don't want to be anywhere near that guy. Okay, so one of the other passages that we need to be getting as we're going on is we need to kill one of every color of, basic color of lizard. There's extra colors, but we can't get those easily as survivor, and they're not part of the passage, so we're not going to worry about it. Good fast fall. It's worm grass there. We're not really going to deal with that too much. I need to eat because I didn't eat earlier. And so we need to be killing certain lizards in certain places as we can. The most annoying one is going to be purple, because normally I would have wanted it there. But these scavengers killed all the ones that I wanted to kill. I could have been aggressive with the one initially, but things can always go wrong whenever scavengers are around. They break the laws of physics in every way imaginable, and anyone who's played the game for a while certainly understands that. One of the other things I usually try to get during this cycle is we need to kill a certain amount of creatures at some point. And that's also a pole plant. It pretends to be a pole and you grab it and you die instantly. But we need to kill a certain amount of creatures within a few cycles. And I usually try to get it now. We might be able to get these purples too. The other purple is coming. That was a bit unfortunate. Turn around, please. One of you come through. So if you notice, there are rocks and there are spears. This guy might be dead. Okay, that's very good for us. I think I'm just going to sleep now. And that worked out well enough for me. Yeah, there are rocks and there are spears. The rocks are generally used for stunning, and then the spears are going to be for actually doing the damage, as the rocks really don't do any damage. the rocks, if we hit a hard lizard skull in the face, it's going to flip them around. Did not get any bit of outlaw as I was hoping. So we're probably gonna have to get outlaw later. So there's, with any of the passages, there's generally an antithesis to the other. That being, there's outlaw, kill about 7 creatures in a few cycles in a row. And then there's saint, which is kill nothing. Don't hurt anything actually at all. And the most annoying thing about saint is if you even throw a spear near other creatures, they can... Oh, I wanted that actually. That's fine. You can throw a spear near creatures at all. They will often make you lose saint because they were threatened by its existence through a wall, which has happened a few times. And it is definitely not annoying every time it happens. So now I just don't pick up spears when we're going for that. But now we're going to be going in drainage. If you're ever to play this game for the first time, do not go to this area as the first area you go to, because this is a place you can get trapped in if you don't have a bit of understanding of what's going on other aspects of the game. It also introduces the swimming. Ooh, that could have been bad. So we can go through creatures when we're both going through pipes. Additionally, when it comes to any creature in the game except for centipedes, we'll get to those guys. When it comes to any creature in the game, it will... They all take a little bit to charge their bite, and if they don't know you're there, they will not charge their bite. So we always have a bit of time to get past them if you go fast enough. Also, I look over at chat every once in a while, and it's funny that I see Hoku say, Ice will probably have Outlaw before Shaded Citadel, and I know why Hoku says that. Because she doesn't want me to kill all the mice there. Which if I didn't get Outlaw now, that's probably where I am going to get Outlaw. So I'm sorry, Hoku, this is probably going to have to be how it is if I don't get it these next cycles. Alright, so we starve here, we get a dream. The dreams generally just show us general ideas of what Slugcat is thinking or what's going on. We're starting on Monk because we've been eating fruits multiple cycles in a row. That's a big part of what we're going for. We're starting to get Outlaw, and then we're going to be continuing, and then we're going to be quitting out. White and pink lizards, are the shiny something? No, they're all just different types of lizards. They all have very specific abilities. Like the purple lizard can climb on poles, the white lizard can climb on the background, can camouflage, and has a long tongue, but is generally a lot more shy. Come to me. Yes. Fall off. Please. Okay. Alright, maybe I should go for more kills. We could go up to Squid Cicada Land, as for one reason or another, it's not going to matter too much where I choose to do kills. Just that I have multiple locations where I can choose them. Sometimes we don't get lucky of creature placement or what tools we have at any given time. This purple might be in a good spot. We need to kill something at least once every cycle as to keep Outlaw going. 2 spears worked out really well. Purple lizards have 2 health. We do 1 damage per spear. We want to stab them 3 times because technically they won't die until they're negative health. Additionally, lizards are technically immortal in that they don't have a they will always die health, and that when they're just getting, and with any creature when they're just in the negatives, they just keep rolling for am I going to die every tick? And usually creatures have a hard cut. If they take too much damage, will they always die? But lizards don't have that. So sometimes you do gotta worry about that. But usually when something's really, really hurt, they're gonna be really, really tame as well. Okay, now we're gonna be going into industrial. This is personally one of my, when I think of this game, I think of this area quite a lot. Not so much the lower part with the centipedes, but messed that up. Just the general feel of it and the idea of going through it. I always really liked it. I would have liked a spear for the popcorn, but we've got the berries up there. I messed that up. Then we can go back up here, and then we're going to save. We want to be one less than full, because now we're going to be doing the same thing we did to drainage in garbage waste. We're not going to see anything of garbage waste at all, because there is no reason to go there. The only reason why we would go there is because it's faster to go through it to get to shoreline than it is through shaded. Except we have we have other reasons to go to shaded. And so we're going to do there. All right. Probably the same dream. Yes, because we starved to get the first dream, we get it again. Some of the things that we've been considering is, well, we want that Karmaflow at the beginning so we don't get that dream twice. And planning out dreams in certain locations can help quite a lot. Just wanted to make sure we're at a good spot with those passages. I didn't actually see Chieftain there, but we definitely don't have it.
Everybody's chanting slug cat, slug cat, slug cat.
Oh, okay. All right. Now we're gonna be, we already killed both a green and a purple. If we hadn't killed a green, sometimes I go over to the scavenger cache off to the right and get an explosive spear, as it will always kill one. There he is, the large man. Next room can be a little tight. Every lizard has a slide move. It's very obvious when they use theirs. Purple's a little annoying. We'll go up. Just fine, because they're not going to move terribly fast. This green's annoying. He's probably going to slide the moment we touch him. Or not. There we go. Good boy. But whenever they slide, they also have no friction, so they just kind of go everywhere. That's unfortunate. Thank you, Spear. Spears make sense. And then here, we're going to be seeing a guy that we're not going to be seeing again, that being these guys. They steal your spears. I didn't eat food, we'll eat this. If we don't have a spear, it doesn't really matter. If we hit them, they'll throw us around, so we don't want to be doing that. And then we're going into garbage. From this point on, there's a lot of divergent paths that we could definitely take. Getting the Echo and Farm Rays is still something that could be changed quite a lot. I think the 100% route could be changed a lot, given what it currently is, but not everything has been completely tested. With the Karmaflow thing, eating it to negate the death that we have to take for the Echo being something that was recently thought of as well. But going forward, we need to be start thinking about Scholar, which there's a bunch of these specifically colored pearls in the game compared to the normal gray ones, in which they're in specific locations around the map. And one thought was we should try to get all of those pearls for 100%, but no, that's a little annoying. I didn't kill something, I didn't think about that, so we lost Outlaw, so we're not going to be getting that going forward. Wasn't thinking about that at the time. I'm not going to worry about it. There's a lot of places we can get it otherwise. But we need to be thinking about Scholar, because we cannot get Scholar till we meet the 2 specific NPCs I talked about earlier. But there's not the greatest amount of pearls we're going to be passing afterwards. So I'm going to go out of my way to bring one of those to a location that we will be back to later. That being this blue one right over here. So there'll be specifically different colored pearls compared to the gray ones. There's a gray one to my feet to the left. And then we can stuff things into our stomach. The small items, we can't put spears in our stomach. So now I have a blue circle in my stomach. We're going to deal with that as we need to. I like this blue kill, given that for people who watch my stream, this past Saturday, I technically had the record, but the blue kill did not count for some odd reason. That's really bad, actually. I'm surprised that fell off. It didn't climb. We might be able, I could just reset and go back up, but we might be able to get more kills as we would want. But we'll see what shows up. So far, nothing. If we run into scavengers, that would also be really good. But neither of those things have happened yet.
I like the fall.
It's really nice, but we did not want to go that way. Excuse me. Who said you could be here? So every time a lizard bites you, it's a chance for you to die. But otherwise, they're just holding you. Green lizard getting stuck here is really annoying. But he's going to prevent himself from going upwards from that point on. We killed another lizard there, which is good. Normally do 1 damage. If we stab them in the mouth, it does a little bit more. So we died from that one. We would have liked more kills, but that's fine. Normally I would have probably reset the run at that point, but we're not really going to be about that for this marathon run. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, the lizard. Okay. They never moved. That's not a good spot for him, but we could get a white kill right now. Hello. Please fall down. Thank you. So white lizard kills can be annoying as well, depending on when we're doing Saint, because they tend to move around quite a lot. There is one in Sky Islands much later. That's a good one as well. If everything messes up, this white lizard in front of me can be really annoying. This is the Tube of Death, because you can't do anything while you're in it if something just comes down. And now we're good. There's a bat fly on my spear. Let's see what this room looks like. Ooh, look at you. Now let's just go by so he doesn't see us. We can hear us if we make too much noise, but that's fine. We really only make noise when we're standing. So that's good. We're gonna want this spear, or the popcorn, in just a second. It's good that we didn't die, because if we would have quit out there, we would have lost some of the monk progress we were having earlier. And so we would have to do an entire another cycle of monk, which potentially would have been really annoying, because then we would have had to push back Hunter, which is eating meat, like bat flies and centipedes later on. Now we're entering Chimney Canopy, and a bit more introduction of falls that will kill you when you fall off screen. We're still on the ground level for now, so we're not going to worry about it, but you'll understand a bit more as the world starts to disappear beneath your feet slowly, more and more as we go up. The first time I entered this area, I realized that it was a bit too hard, and I backed out for the time being. And then shaded actually was more okay for me. We actually want full food. and then we will keep going. We'll see what this guy does. He's up there. I'd like to be behind him, but I don't want to go up there. Man, Survivor feels so much slower than playing Hunter. Yes. I forget the exact speed Hunter is, but they're a bit faster and a bit heavier.
Do you mind explaining the difference between Survivor and Hunter?
So there's 3 characters, that being Monk, Survivor, and Hunter. For the most part, Monk and Survivor are the same as far as we care. There are key differences, but Hunter is a wildly differently experience and is considered to be the hard mode of the game, with additionally a score tied to a lot of things. That being, if you kill things, your score goes up, etc. And there's a actual objective comparative to you just trying to survive. You can't play Hunter till you probably finish Survivor or Monk for the first time. I'd recommend usually to get all Steam achievements before trying Hunter, but effectively Hunter makes it much harder for a lot of reasons I'm not going to fully spoil, but one of the main reasons is different spawn location, different spawn location for you, different and more spawn locations for creatures, new creatures, and then a few other extra things going on that I'm not fully going to say. All right, so now everything's gonna start being you fall off the edge, you die. Just want to make sure I don't fall off. So here's also really sketchy because there's going to be white lizards in the area, and whenever you try to go, so screen transitions are not your friend. Ooh, that was pretty good. And so going through a screen transition and walking into a static white lizard that you couldn't have seen because you had very little time is not good. There's one to our right. We need to activate this echo above us. If you notice, there's actually an inscription on the background of the echo symbol. That's one of the ways to realize where they are. We got the flash. Kind of want this vulture to come down to scare this man. Thank you. Glad he didn't try to bite me, because it might have flung me off. So whenever you're bitten by things and you don't instantly die, you also have a chance to throw whatever's in your hand to get out. And so I'm generally not worried about vultures by any means, right? So we have the pearl in our stomach, and now I want it out of my stomach and in here. We'll be back at this shelter much later in the run. And now we're gonna see what our passages are again. Probably get an outlawed D-spit. Nope, not as much as I want, but we got those pretty good. Did I pause? Got those pretty good lizard kills. Now we just need an orange and a mole for later. Alright, so now we're gonna be in the echo up here. I didn't do the movement I'm supposed to be doing through this room, but that's fine. Ooh, usually I'm a lot better at doing that room, but I already forgot what I wanted to do. So the fun part about this room and the room before it is that there's very interesting mechanic of the echo being around. And that being, it puts all creatures asleep that are in its effect. In some cases, it despawns them entirely, which is a little weird. We might notice that a little bit in Skylands, but not really. But essentially, here specifically, it puts them to sleep. Like vultures may spawn from the sky, fall like a brick, and just be there asleep. Comparative to other echoes, however, we're actually still able to kill these creatures. Say hello to Echo Man. And then white flash. we're actually still able to kill those vultures, which is very useful for Hunter, especially because you can take off their faces / their masks and wear them to scare lizards. Which sounds like a lot, but it's one of the big features of that. There might be someone in front of us. Nope. Thought I heard something. Still messed up the movement right there a little bit because I fell a little bit short, but we'll keep going. There's a vulture. That's good. It's good to see them in the room to the left or in this room because we do not want them to show up in this next room. Either way, it's okay if we die here. Of all places that we can die, it's okay that we can die here. Although I'd like to get Monk in this next cycle. It's okay if we have to get it in the one after. Alright. Really flat ground. I might try to get that mask from the vulture behind me. I shouldn't have back-throwed so many spears because I was hoping there would be another one over here. Hello. He doesn't know.
He doesn't know, huh?
So this is one of the really good places to kill vultures because they can't escape. The biggest problem with vultures is that if you stab them twice, the normal ones, they actually will run away. And so here, they cannot do that. And so we're gonna steal his face. And then I didn't want to go in there. Now we're going to at least try to kill him. Because we need the outlaw if we can get it. This is generally the strat Hempem as use another runner of 100% because we need to kill orange lizards going forward, and this is when he gets outlaw going up into the wall, and having the mask helps quite a lot. Not really for the orange lizards, because the orange lizards gimmick kind of prevents it a little bit, but the white lizards on the wall are one of the most annoying creatures that we can deal with. Given how the map is set up, it's more set up for you to go down than it is to go up. So the white lizards in their campy attitude are much harder to get by as we have to go through very specific bottlenecks. Going upwards.
Would this be a good time to explain about echoes?
Yes. So if you have any specific things you want to ask, you can, but the basic idea, at least from the gameplay's perspective, is that there are 6 echoes. We need to get all 6 of them. 4 of them we have to meet beforehand, and then we have to go to them again the next or future cycles with very high amounts of karma. And then there are 2 that are always there, and if we meet them, they'll always bring up our karma. And so if there's anything else to say, feel free to ask as well. I'm not able to read chat as much as I would like. Why are you stealing the vulture's face? I'm stealing the vulture's face so the lizards are scared of me. Which is very useful because they'll show their back to you instantly. Alright. Batflies here would be useful for Hunter, but we don't need that right now. That room always takes a while to load because this room and going forward, it doesn't rain in. Oh yeah, we haven't talked about that. This is Rain World. We're not going to be seeing it rain at all, hopefully. So one of the main things, I'm going to bring it up right now just to show it. If I hold up map, you'll see in the bottom left, there's a semicircle with line cut into it, and there's a bunch of little dots around it. All the little dots is the timer until it's going to rain. And I believe it's 20 seconds per dot. I've forgotten. I know that the maximum cycle is... Oh, they saw me. That's why they're running. So, maximum cycle timer is 13 minutes, 20 seconds, which is what we have. That's bad. So when any orange lizard sees you, all of them see you, essentially, is their gimmick. Also, they're all running away. It's a little annoying. I'm not sure if they can really get back. Oh no, they're still scared. I don't know why they went way over there though. I'd like to kill one, because I'd rather not have to kill one later. They're probably over the mask by now, because if one sees you for long enough, and it's been a long enough time since they initially saw it, no, he's dead. They can't get back up. All of them jumped off the cliff accidentally. Why? The orange lizards are like purple lizards, except that they're worse in that they are not very good at climbing on poles, and they're not very good individually either, but their teamwork is a big part of how they work. But back to the rain timer, there's a certain amount of time every cycle that you want to sleep, and you need enough food to sleep, and you want to not be out during the rain because the rain will kill you. That is the basic idea. Good blue lizard. This white lizard in the back we might be able to kill, but I'm not going to worry about it. He saw us. These two on the right might have seen me. This guy is now dead. If I can grab the spear back. Nope, I guess we're going this way again. I don't think he saw me, which is the weirdest part. I'm not gonna worry about that. All right, we're gonna moving upwards. Probably not going to get outlaw before. No, we're full. I forgot. Probably not gonna get outlaw before shaded. Maybe should have went to get that spear and kill that lizard. There's these two pole plants here, which can be sketchy if I slightly hold the joystick wrong. I'm gonna get a spear. I've decided. Oh, that man's dead there. Oh no. His friends murdered him. But yeah, the lizards, all lizards in the game, regardless of their type, their color typing, they all have their own personality, their own stats. This is way more relevant when it comes to scavengers on how they act very, very differently. And certain ones are far more aggressive, far better with a spear. And those guys you never want to deal with, ever, if you can help it. Certain ones have been given certain names by the community because of how deadly they are. But the lizards can have very wildly differing stats and how they respond to certain stimulus and situations. And so you always need to be aware of all lizards of a certain color are generally going to act a certain way, but not always. All right, we're gonna save here. We're gonna get the Wanderer for the exterior. We're not gonna see most of the exterior because there's no reason to go to Grapple Bug Land. A lot of people really like the grapple in this game, but there is not a good reason to go out of the way to get it in the 100%. See what we got for that. We did get Monk. Outlaw's pretty good. We're going to get the Wall Echo now. And then we're going to be seeing one of the two important NPCs outside of the 6 Echoes. We'll talk about that. So technically the Echoes are spoilers because you could walk by them all the time and never know they're there. But the 2 NPCs are the real spoilers. And we could say when it happens, if you don't want to see that. Okay, that's unfortunate. It doesn't matter though. I'm gonna actually take the masks now. But otherwise, just watch and enjoy. Usually, so here's the interesting thing about the white lizards on the wall and why they are so annoying. So these two spawn up here, right? Every time. all creature spawns in the game are consistent. Some of them are not consistent, and they're just like sometimes they spawn. This is very low amount of creatures. When you start killing creatures, there's a chance that they could lineage and become other creatures, which only if you kill things is that relevant. You yourself. And when it comes to these white lizards, they spawn in this room, but they're scared. They're programmed to be scared to be in this room. So generally when I go up that ladder, I expect them to run past me because they're scared to be in the room. But that's one of the other things where the stats come to matter. But it's very, very strange, some of the things. But I'll also force them to be quite campy in the lower rooms. And then if you pass them, it starts raining, and then rain doesn't affect you because we're really high up. They can then come back up really, really fast and get to you. All right, so now we're gonna be entering the really special area, which is just past that echo where we just got it. We're gonna be meeting NPC man. And I need to kill at least one of you two. Where'd the spear go? Okay. Come back. I only want to murder you. Just between friends. Okay, that guy went in... That guy went in the shelter, so maybe it's not going to be worth it. He might be coming out, though, because it's not flashing. Never mind, he might be coming out in a second. He's never going to come out, I've decided. One kill for now. That other white lizard kill might actually push us into getting outlaw, so we don't have to kill mice. Need to kill something for outlaw. If I already got one kill, I still bronze. So we're not gonna lose outlaw. That's all that matters.
So outlaw, now I'm curious. Outlaw, I don't know if I quite understand how outlaw works.
So outlaw is, we need to kill seven things between consecutive cycles. There's a few other little bits to it, like it won't go up unless you kill at least 2 things in a cycle. You can kill all 7 things in a singular cycle, but as long as I'm killing things consistently through multiple cycles, I will keep it up. But honestly, at this point, it doesn't really matter that too much, as I can easily kill more than 7 things in shaded, which is what we're going to be going to just after this. And now this is the top of the wall. Very, very interesting comparative to everything beforehand, because there's going to be absolutely nothing around. We don't need that mask anymore. Not where we're going. So one of the big features about this game, I know a lot of people really deal with too much, is that the passages are passages. That meaning they're the 10 achievements that you can get in game, but you can use them to teleport to other shelters that you've been to previously. And so that's a big thing for 100%, and we use that twice in this routing of it, that I use at least. All right, mess that up. Actually grab that spear. When you hit the popcorn, we're gonna let it pop and then eat it on the way back. Ladders are hard. Don't want to jump out of that. And then we're gonna be noticing something very interesting going downwards. Not only the background, but otherwise. So if you don't want to see very specific spoilers, now would be time to stop watching. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Also, we'll notice very interesting movement where now there is no gravity. And now everything changes on how we need to move. And now we actually came in the back way. And so now we are going to immediately meet this man. Say hello to Pebbles. So, Pebbles is gonna say a bunch of stuff to us that I don't care about at all. But essentially, one of the things that I do have to say that you won't notice that just happened is that normally when he enters from the first time, he does a bunch of stuff. He tries to talk to us through pictures, and he's like, "This isn't working," and then puts this implant into our skull, which is this floating thing above our head, which is the little square. If I move around, it goes. Actually, it's still there because he's talking, but it's following us, and that's now forever permanent upgrade, and it makes it so we could talk to other creatures like him. There's only other one. Very useful. But essentially the reason why he doesn't talk to us with pictures first is because we have a hunter save that has met Pebbles beforehand. And that being that Hunter, Monk, and Survivor are all in the timeline, with Hunter being the first, and then Survivor, and then Monk. So if we had a Survivor save that met Pebbles, and then it saved properly, the Monk would just immediately skip to him giving us the mark as well. And so one of the other things you may notice is he has also given us full karma. Okay, we're done talking. Give me a second. I need to make this jump. Very good. Now we need to eat his brain, just like any guest would, right? So we need to get 2 of these neurons that are floating around. Yes, I don't know how to explain that. Because that's essentially what's happening. I've hit that wall, that's annoying. Okay, we need 2 of the neurons. We're gonna eat one of them. Eating one of them makes us glow permanently for the rest of the game. Very useful, but it's more because we want that for 100% because it is the only permanent upgrade that we can get, and so we're considering it required for 100%. And so I'm not gonna eat them yet because eating requires me to stand still, which is slow. We're gonna have to purposely stand still later on. We'll just hold left. Forgot what else I was saying, but okay, I did explain the saves. But basically, the only thing that we have that we allow to affect runs between saves is the hunter meeting Pebbles before the other slug cats, so the cutscene can go shorter. Because people can accidentally have it active, so we're like, let's just allow it. Not much you can do about it on console, because you can't, I believe the flag stays up even if you completely wipe the save as well. It's been a while since we've really looked at it. The mark is also technically probably up. Yeah, but we need to meet Pebbles one way or the other. All right, now we're just climbing back up. If you see in the background, I didn't really say, is a representation of the 5 basic karmas. The 4th one here being greed, and the 5th one up here being survival. Basic idea. It's the only real place you're really ever gonna notice that. All right, we're gonna throw this one here. We're gonna eat this one. We're now glowing, and we need to eat to full here. I'm gonna grab this. And then close shelter. We're gonna shove this into our face, and now that's in our stomach for later. You can put neurons in your stomach if you're full. It's the only time you can do that. And now the biggest time loss is if I don't, also this dream after we meet him is nice, is if I don't press passage right here is the biggest time loss. Yes, did it, because there's no way, the only way to get to that screen to passage again is if you die. So there's no good way to die when we're up here. So it would be really, like, take 5 minutes to get back on track. We need to go to the right. Industrial, we need to make sure it's on the right shelter, because if you spawn into the wrong one, I consider the run to be invalid. And now we go to Shaded, which is the Dark Land. So regardless if you go to the Dark Land glowing or not, there are still ways to go through where you don't really, well, one, you don't really need to see, because if you could press map, it will map the area directly around you. Additionally, there is a path that is pretty lit up if you know where to look for it, or if you're just willing to explore. That, and there's items that are lanterns that you can get. You know what you're doing. I'd like to give that man a spear. Let's cheese some stuff. I need a scavenger reputation. There's a pearl down here. I'm gonna go get that. There is another strat that I was intending on using instead of running into these guys, but I'm gonna take what I get now, because there's no guarantee in anything. Hopefully they're still there. I can't imagine they would have moved too far. Hello. Please pick that up. Thank you. Get out of the way now. Okay. That is not a good situation for that man. So that's why that's the death tunnel. Because you can't escape the white lizards running at you. Alright, we are... Ooh, that's a weird sight. I haven't seen one of these guys up here in a long time. Come to me. Yes. Oh, can't run from me. What? Scavenger stabbed him. He's dead. Okay. Now I'm going to eat him, because he's tasty protein, and that will get us meat for Hunter. Very good. Didn't make that jump. That's unfortunate. Even had the spear for it. There is a fancy jump that we can use from the left side over to the right, but it requires a lot of very, very specific inputs in a very short amount of time. It's not frame perfect, but it's multiple very, very close inputs, and like pressing in all the way left and then all the way right. So it's not the easiest for... I probably shouldn't kill this guy, but I kind of want to. Okay, we're just gonna go now. I've decided. All right, something we're going to notice. Actually, not going to say anything. Behold, sparkly things. Look at what I'm never going to pick up. Those things. So there's a sandbox in the game, and those things are the arena unlocks, that being both the actual arenas and then the creature unlocks that you can spawn in whenever you want. Also, yes, Pseudo, the E-hump. That is hard to pull off. There's a lot of extreme tech that this game has that is just so far beyond what's really just easy to do in a speed run. A lot of people have been starting to really put it into the speed run, with one of the main categories being Pebbles percent, which requires us to immediately run to Pebbles, and then he give us full karma, then we quit out and we're back in Outskirts and we end the game. We recently found out that not taking a squid cicada to help with vertical movement is actually faster if you're good enough. So there's a lot going on. It's very hard to explain. Ooh, don't stab me. I'd like to not be between both of you. Well, this is annoying. Oh, okay. He just went in there and popped out. Please go away. Scavenger, please. I just want out. Okay. Yeah, that works too. Ooh, I almost hit that scavenger, which would have been bad. So here's the lantern mice. Hello. They come in a variety of colors. That green color is actually kind of rare.
Ooh.
They also have very stretchy tails and are always glowing.
Oh, okay.
We might already have Outlaw, but it's good to make sure that we definitely get it. So that's unfortunate. We're gonna need a spear in a second. Sorry, knew I probably shouldn't have thrown that. There's almost always one right there though. I kind of almost feel like that is consistent. A lot of scavengers in here these days, which is interesting. They roam around the area. There's a lot of regions where they roam around, and they can take teleport pipes to go between very specific areas that we cannot take. And so it's interesting to see them in multiple locations. Gonna do cloud jump. I still messed it up. Cloud jump is essentially I lean against the wall, I immediately press the opposite direction from the wall, and then I jump, and then jump again in the air, and that makes us able to jump in the air essentially. It's something to do with leaning against the wall like that. Could have used the spear, but I wanted to keep it. Some of the predators don't like it. Yes. This game only on PC. This game is on PlayStation and Switch. The Switch version was a little rough, at least at first. I don't know how good it is right now, but regardless, ooh, please, if you want the game, get it and try it out. PC is very good because there's a big modding community. That is the one thing I'm going to say. And we can talk about that another time. Spider, why you like this? Okay, that's what you get. Surprised we saw a big spider there. When we only see the small ones. We want to eat bat flies, but we've already eaten. We're going to prime the echo here. It took a little longer than I expected. We actually start, as long as the room is loaded in, that's all that matters, except that echo specifically. That's all that matters for the flash to start. But that one's pretty random. Please let me out. So there's no threat theme around the scavengers, which means we 100% have... Ooh, we need the cloud jump here. Which means we 100% have Chieftain now, so that's very good. Tiny spiders killing the bat flies, which would have been good for Hunter there. We didn't already eat the centipede that had no reason to be up there from the lower area. All right, so normally I don't have a really good cycle, and at this point I am getting here when it's raining. And normally when we get here when it's raining, I point out that the shelter gate mechanism at the beginning is invisible. Which it was not, because there hadn't been raining yet. But that's always funny to me, because if you come from another region and then get to a shelter while it's raining, just the gate will be invisible. Does this area not have a threat theme in general? I think you're right about that. I've just always forgotten. But either way, they don't act like they're attacking me. The one big thing about scavengers is that they're all body language, and if you can't determine body language, and if you can't give people personal space, then it's going to be a problem if you're not friends with them. Echo Man, it's going to be different because now we have the mark, which means they can talk to us. So the moment we see first line of dialogue, we're going to get out. So the man's gonna be like, "You have no name." So we run away because we're scared of giant ghosts. Stop talking in my skull, funny man. I always go down, and I know I'm supposed to go up. It doesn't matter. So now we need to go over to Shoreline, which I talked about earlier. And we're going to be showing the Shoreline and meeting our other mans. That is very, very important. Also, I just realized if Rue is there,
Yeah, I'm here.
tell me how long the run has been going.
I am still here. You are at about an hour in. I would say hour, 10 minutes almost.
Okay, so we're gonna stop at this next spot. I forgot I wanted to stop right then, but I'm already in this cycle, so we're gonna keep going until I get to this next part. It's actually gonna take a little while, but if we die, we'll go over again. And then go to break.
I'm just let me know when. And then in the meantime, I have a few announcements to say. The Frost Patel's game and volunteer submissions are open now until the 14th. So November 14th, everybody. Go to gamesdonequick.com for more information. If you missed out on any of the GDQ hotfix shows, check out their archives, past runs, and shows at their YouTube, which is youtube.com backslash. I can't talk today for some reason. Games Done Quick. Need more water. But yeah, so in the meantime, when you're ready for break, just let me know.
Yep.
Alrighty. So we're gonna just take a little 5-minute break, everybody, and we're gonna come back with some more Rain World. And yeah, it's very fascinating. This game is fascinating to watch, and it's a fascinating run. I'm still trying to understand the game myself in terms of just how it works. But I feel like you're doing a great job, Ice, on commentary. Like, your commentary is amazing.
Well, still, if there's any questions, you can always ask.
Awesome. So we'll take a 5-minute now, and we'll start now.
Okay.
Why, hello, everybody. This is Cutie Rue SR coming back at ya, aka Rue. I am bringing you some more Legally Cute, and we are featuring Rain World. And right now it's being run by Ice. And we are just coming back from break. Before we get into action again, I just kind of want to remind everybody that the GDQ Sum of Best segments is now launched on YouTube. It's a highlight channel with regular videos like our main channel, but with the small highlight reels for all of our main events and hotfix. And then after this show of my show, Legally Cute, Rain World and Karmaflow, tune on in for Monday, the community spotlight featuring.
I think we are live, but I haven't heard anything.
Oh, because Rue was muted for that whole entire thing.
I couldn't.
Hi, everybody.
Tell what was happening.
My hotkey is very in a bad spot on my keyboard, so we're gonna change that later. Don't tell anybody that I did that. So, anyways, although it's on video now, this is Rue. I am bringing you some Legally Cute. Yeah. So when we're ready, I'm just gonna give you a countdown of 3,
Okay.
2, 1, and let's go.
Okay. All right. Mess that up. That always happens when we get right back into it. But yes, we're going to be going into Shoreline, the second water level that you're probably going to deal with, depending on which way you went. So, one of the things that we talk about with water movement is that controller is faster, period, That being, you can do this snaking movement that I'm doing, in which it allows you to move slightly faster in a direct direction. Additionally, if you're on keyboard, you should still be doing the snaking movement anyway, because you won't be grinding into the ceiling, slowing you down. So you'll notice I won't just be holding a direct direction, I'll be moving constantly in that direction, around that direction. Trying to get one of these guys, and we grab Giant Fish Man, and then he's gonna carry us around. So we're only gonna really deal with this next area, so now we need to not instantly die to Giant Leviathan Man. Okay. Very glad he didn't show up, but in some ways I also wanted to show him off because we finally figured out how to manipulate them in a good way. But essentially, they're an extremely large creature. There's no intended way to kill them. You can kill them by unintended means. This jetfish is going to kill me. Now get back here, jetfish. I need you. Okay. There's ways to kill in unintended ways. We're not going to really deal with that. But essentially, it has a kill function. It doesn't do damage. It kills whatever it's in his jaws. But if you make it bite, it won't bite again for a period of time. But we don't have to worry about that. But we're entering an area that might seem a little familiar to the Five Pebbles area that we were in earlier, that being the Five Pebbles, the character as well. So this is Looks to the Moon, and we'll also meet the equivalent character that this is relevant to while we hold our jellyfish streamers. And then one of the very specific thing is that we need to get, we're going for Scholar, and so we need to be getting the gold colored pearl up here. I fell down. That's fine. Okay, that's less fine. Let me eat these now. We're gonna start getting Hunter, of course. We need to eat meat from those jellyfish, and we're grabbing this. And then I'm gonna be going this way. And we're gonna be throwing this pearl here because I'm gonna be getting it in just a second. So in this next room, we're gonna be seeing Looks to the Moon. We're not gonna be seeing her for very long because all we need to do is give her the neuron in our stomach and make her say one line of dialogue. And by that, I mean we need to give her the neuron first before we actually see her. Do it the wrong way. Oh no. Okay. I cannot get too close to her, because she'll talk for way too long before bringing the neuron up. And I'm grateful the reef is undescribable, and then we never see her again. Say goodbye, Moon. Goodbye forever. And then, now we need to sleep. We're gonna passage out, and we're gonna go back to where we put that pearl a long time ago, back in Chimney, so we can go to Sky Islands. And then we're going to get Shelter Clothes, Pearl and Stomach while we have a little time. And now we're going to passage. And now we'll see a very particular dream. So this is the dream if you eat one of her neurons. However, the code is a bit not precise with how that works. And it's just a difference of 5, not less than 5 from when you first meet her, of which dream shows up. There's the friend one or the hurt one. And so it shows the hurt one because it's a difference of 1 from 5 from the first time we met her. Because there's really no reason to give her a neuron the first time we meet her, because there's no reason otherwise that we would even know that. Generally, it's considered, so we consider giving her a neuron from Pebbles to be, why did I do that? To be a side quest. It's not something you by any means need to do for any reason other than just being nice in the actual game. So yeah, so we thought we would include it. It does dictate a decent bit of the route, however, because it makes us really want to go to Pebbles first before we go to Moon, so we can give her the neuron the first time we get there. All right, we already have Chieftain. We normally would have given the 2 colored pearls we have here because we've met both Moon and Pebbles. That means we get 2 pips for the 3 that we need for Scholar. The reason why we brought that gold pearl with us, even though we met Moon that last cycle, is that if we met Moon, then picked up the gold pearl, then we would have gotten a pip for Scholar. But because we picked up the gold pearl and then we met Moon, we can't pick up the gold pearl again and have it count as Scholar during that cycle. So we need to bring it with us so we can have it count for another cycle. That is unfortunate for Purple Man. All right, extremely important thing. That is dangerous. Fun. Creature bodies are interesting. Please don't throw it. So these guys want to kill the overseers, which are these blue and yellow things going around us. The yellow one is actually the tutorial guide. He tries to tell you which way to go in the game. If you're just playing the game for the first time, you should try to follow him, but also understand everything has their own motives. All right, let's keep going here. But one of the big things about this area, and what we're going to be doing going forward, is we want the Saint passage, which means we can't hurt or threaten anything. Threaten counts as throwing a spear near other creatures. So near is a very large area. So that's sketchy, let's put it that way. All right, so we still need to be eating meat. So if we catch a bat fly. So one very specific thing that people don't realize about squid cicadas are holding any two-handed thing is that you can actually still auto grab bat flies, but only if your face runs into it. So it's a little hard to deal with it because technically your hand has to grab it, so it has to literally run into your hand. And then if you stand completely still with the squid cicada, you can eat the bat fly. So this room's a little annoying for it, but if you do it like this and then slam your face into the mushrooms on the left, so all these little spikes that you see the bat flies kind of fleeing into are mushrooms, as at least we like to call them. This is a little annoying. I need to make sure I get these now because we're probably not going to be able to get them later. Not getting lucky with timing that. We want to make them flee to the other one, and then there we go. And we'll eat it while standing still. Scavengers freaking out about the overseers. This is a flying centipede. It is both as terrifying as you think it is and not. That was very good. He didn't lick us. That could have been bad. It's very interesting to see them there because that's not very common. You call it mushrooms? There's a lot of names for it. I suppose mushroom works well. We need to go up here to trigger an echo. Orange lizard men are annoying. As you can see, the squid cicada helps quite a lot with vertical movement. We need to wait. Music cut now. And now we'll get that. Usually you can... Ooh. Yes, murder them. Back off. I just want to go down. He's sketching out, man. Oh, this is why scavengers are scary. They can do whatever they want. I've had one make my game go to 20 FPS because he was going too crazy once.
Whoa.
But there's a lot of very, it's not common. There's a lot of very, very strange things they can do. One of the main things that you probably see fairly often is if there's a you see a scavenger in your room, and then it goes to another room, it can still grab things in your room if it's in the same coordinates as in his room that's in your room. 0, 0 in any room is the bottom left corner. And so it can just grab things, and then there's a floating spear in your room, and you're like, what's happening? Another one is that they, as Hunter can have a spear on their back, and they can grab that. Oh, that's not good that the centipede's in here, but I think the scavenger killed it, so that's good. Probably eat that, because I don't want to grab the spear off his back when I wake up next. We're gonna hit the echo now. But one of the other glitches is if Hunter goes through a pipe while having a back spear, the scavenger can walk over the pipe and pick up the back spear even though you don't exist. And then when it goes through the pipe with you, it will float in the air infinitely, which is interesting. But just fun quirks about some of the creatures that you just sometimes gotta know what happens. Now we're hitting this echo. We need to try to time the stuff here. I'm missing yellow lizard still. No, I am not. Actually, I am. I didn't think about that. I didn't kill one earlier. They all fell off. For some reason, I thought I killed one. We're gonna have to kill one this cycle. I probably should have killed it last cycle. Usually I would take the squid cicada down because it'd be really nice to use it in these next sections, but he is right. We can get an orange lizard now. So we have 2 chances to get an orange lizard going forward, and that's either here or in Farmerays. Normally I'd want to get Saint right now, but it's better that we don't. Put it that way, because we're not going to get a lot of chances to get orange lizard kills. Come to me. Yes. So I can slide into them and throw a spear as I'm sliding to hit them in the unprotected face to do extra damage, but I don't really care. So if you throw things while in the air, unlike physics, it brings you in the direction that you've thrown the item. Try to give you it look like you have some force to your throw. Also, yes, with any creature, normally that would scare a lot of people, I've noticed, is to see vultures there, but if you're fast enough, nothing matters. But what was I saying? Orange lizard normally be hard. We'd have to go out of our way in Farmerays, which we're about to enter Farmerays, which, if you remember, was the first region we entered way back long ago. So now we're re-entering it, and we're finally going to get the Wanderer passage for it when we get across. The one thing I want to check, want to see the cycle. That is a trash cycle. I'm a little scared of how this is going to go, but we should be fine. We'll be seeing a very, very interesting glitch in just a second. Yes, physics in game makes sense. So does spear linking and spear teleportation, but we're not dealing with any of that. All right, but actual useful glitch we'll be seeing in just a bit, as we'll be seeing the most terrifying creature in all of the game. It's so scary. You'll know what I mean in a second. But we're going to need these 2 puffs here. Sometimes it can be good to take a spear and a puff, but I don't like to bet, especially now, because things can always go wrong. But we need to be getting over really large areas of worm grass, and here's the most terrifying creature of all, the reindeer. He's a little stuck right now. R-A-I-N deer. Yes.
I liked how you spelled that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's actually how you do it, but it works. I think it's all community names regardless, but that's amazing. So reindeer, they like to eat these puffballs and are the only good way to get past the giant worm grass cesspools that we have to get by. However, they have some problems on a few ways. Their AI can break under certain conditions, which once you know how to deal with them, you can avoid them quite well. Wets. We throw a puff. It will spawn one into the room, regardless of what happens, and they will go to that location where you threw it. However, they can come from either the left or the right side of the room. These guys work on a very different type of room system than we do, just like vultures. They can either come from the left or the right side of any room at any given time. That first throw didn't appear to work. Ah, yes, only good way. Only good intended way to get through wormgrass cesspools. There are some ways to raw do it, but we're going to be using a glitch for the second pass. We need to get over some specific geometry in this room, so we're going to have to ride them. Normally when it lags like that when you're going through means that there's going to be a deer right here. But we're not. We're 0 for 2 on a bad cycle, and that's not good. Oh, there was one right here. Okay, that's good. So going off to the right also works out in our favor, because it allows this room to unload, which makes all creatures in it move faster than usual, which is something you need to be prepared to deal with in certain situations. All right, so here's the part where the deer doesn't move and the run ends. Okay, there we go. Sometimes if we had the deer eat the puff right then, it's normally fine for the deer to eat the puff, but if it's trying to also go to one of the thrown puff locations and eat the puff at the same time, and we're getting on top of it at the same time, it's be a little too much and it just never moves again. Additionally, one of the things we're going to be doing here is that deer can also be scared, in that if you stab them, they will try to leave the room in the closest direction. So we're going to wait till we're halfway across the room. If we were good enough, we would stab them constantly and stun them enough so they can't turn around. But every time we stab them, it makes them move a bit faster. Sometimes it makes them do weird things. Give spear, there we go. Yeah, it can be, first time playing this game, it can be hard to figure out what the deer want, but if you start noticing trends, you'll start seeing what they want. There's no real tutorial saying that you need to do this to get on top of them, etc., or that you're even supposed to use them. You get to notice eventually. You don't ever have to ride a deer or go through this area at any point, technically, if you want. So now we're going to be doing the glitch. Get our friend over here. Come on. Come to me. Yes. So it is not good that the music ended, which means that the rain is about to come and the deer are going to leave the room and they're not going to come back. We need the deer for this glitch. I need him to get closer to the ground. And the glitch has started. Just pretend everything's normal. It's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. I've gone in the void dimension. I'm transferring through the planes. And we're good. Hello, I took the spear, I'm sorry. Without realizing. So, effectively, for people who want to know what just happened, if we put a puffball in our stomach next to a deer while it's focusing on it, it will continue to focus on it, even though that's not good, actually. We'll just hit the popcorn. We'll continue to focus on it even though it has ceased to exist, and will spontaneously just move a certain distance downwards. And if it goes downwards into a... Yeah, it's a good amount of food. Into the ground, it will lag the game. It will lag the game in such the way that, comparative to you and the deer, whoever was the last one to enter the room will still be actionable. So you definitely don't want to make sure the deer entered after you. And until the... Yeah, we lost both of those. That's not very good. We're going to have to karma cache those right now. And so we're going to have to... Ooh, what was I at with that? So effectively what happens is the game lags really, really hard. We want to make sure we're second in the room to the deer. We have about a minute of the game lagging to get across because none of the room updates correctly. The room will still transition correctly according to you. If we pause the game, it will visually update. We see what's going on. Other creatures can still move as well. Why was the screen shaking? The screen was shaking because it was about to rain. And it's a very dangerous rain. And so if we take the puff out of our stomach as well, it will stop the glitch. None of the worm grass can affect us. And I shouldn't have eaten that second centipede, and that's really unfortunate, actually. We're gonna have to get this other one down here. But that's the basic idea. I basically walk across... Ooh, that guy almost shocked us. Basically just walked across the worm grass while it was inactionable. And then pulled out the puff to end the glitch. You do not want to go through a pipe while the glitch is active. Otherwise, you have to wait for the physics to fully go out and finish before you can actually exist again. All right, so we're gonna be here for a bit, because I need both Saint and Hunter. So I need to not hurt anything, I need to eat meat. So, one of the important things, as you may notice, is that I'm grabbing these tiny centipedes and I'm shoving them into my face. Because if anything that we have learned from Rain World is that eating things alive does not count as killing them. Thank you, Rain World, for giving me that visual. But that, if I didn't have to do this again, it would get me both Saint and Hunter at the same time. Which is very, very useful depending on the situation, but we're just gonna raw do it because we need it now. So now we're just gonna be karma caching, so we're gonna be here a bit. If there's any questions that I can answer, now would also be the time, because this is gonna take a little while. But this whole next part is going to be interesting because we're going to be getting the friend and finishing off Dragon Slayer, which is kill every type of lizard, and getting Chieftain, etc. But the tone of the game is going to change pretty differently. We're going to be entering the last region of the game just here in a second. Dabbing the small centipedes doesn't lose any. Actually, in my experience, it does, J-Mob. At least killing them with the pesticides, which are those puffballs. I've had that happen. It just doesn't get you outlaw progress. Killing certain enemies does not give you outlaw progress, because like pole plants and other small things don't count. I don't really understand why, but that's just how it is. We also need the last pearl, yes. Right, that should give us both Saint and Hunter. So now I'll be going and all the way down into sub, but we can't go all the way down to sub yet because we need the sub echo. So the special thing about the sub echo, and that it's only reasonably accessible from farm arrays. You can get it from Subterranean itself if you enter from a different reason, but that is not. You'll understand in a second. It's a giant ravine. We're entering this region twice, hoping we don't miss the pearl just after this. All right, and guess, yes, I guess right. So we got the text, and now it's gonna cut now. And now we are good to go. That is every echo in the game that we've gotten. So now all we need to do is get the correct passages. So I'm going to try to keep this centipede in my hands because we need to become friends with a lizard. I sent you something, Rue, if you can read that. Oh, that's unfortunate. We're gonna have to reset that. No.
Oh,
Again.
okay. If
Yes.
let's do a quick couple minute breaks. We're just gonna take a quick couple minute breaks. In the meantime, we'll just put the timer on pause again, just really quick. And just let me know once you're back, and we'll get back into Rain World. In the meantime, I can talk about some announcements. So I'll say when to go on break. Just press pause now, and you can take your break.
All right, right here. Perfect.
And then,
All right.
in the meantime, just a reminder about a few things. We have the GDQ Sum of Best segments. They are now launched on YouTube. Just a reminder, everyone, it's a highlight channel with regular videos like our main channel, but with small highlight reels for all of our main events and hotfix. And then if you are watching on YouTube, feel free to join us over at twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick to check out our live shows starting most nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. And while you're there, Hotfix is funded in parts thanks to your subscriptions, bits, and please consider subscribing to help support future broadcasts. Definitely would help us. And then after this show is Legally Cute featuring, you know, what right now we're playing Rain World and Karmaflow. Karmaflow is going to be the next game with Midnight Vesper. And it's definitely, I definitely say stay around for that one. It's going to be cute, but it'll be like cute music. Like you'll be surprised about this one. Tune in on Monday for the community spotlight featuring Marvel, Spider-Man, and Miles Morales on the PS5 starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, so in the meantime, you know, just kind of hanging out here. And just another reminder that Frost Hotels, the game and volunteer submissions are now live and open until the 14th. And if you are interested, go to gamesdonequick.com for more information. And yeah, so we're just, how is everybody enjoying Rain World? Wayne World. Yeah, I'm like super excited for Karmaflow. I have to say it's by far one of the most interesting speedruns that I've seen. Definitely stick around for that. I am excited to see that too. That's why, like, tonight I'm very excited with this episode where, we had Ween World and then we have, Karmaflow coming up. And yeah, it's awesome to see these amazing runners as well as seeing these amazing games. I always love, I love cute things. Anything cute will get me. So anywho, we are ready to get back on. So I will do the countdown. Ice, let me know. I will be doing the countdown. So starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
I kind of know it's there. We don't need to bring it anywhere. We just need to touch it. Probably could have just full fell, but I didn't want to drop the centipede. We're going to eat these berries while we can. We want a very specific amount of food. Hello there. Do you mind being my friend? Oh no, it had the... Okay, that's unfortunate. So, the centipede was grabbed by the worm grass in the previous room, so it got a certain property on it that makes it fall through the world if I let go of it. So, it fell through the world. Unfortunate. So now this blue lizard is not coming down. This one is good, though. There are 2 blue lizards and 1 green lizard. Hello? Excuse me? Where are you going? Is you scared of the green or something? Just grab it. Please. Okay, and we grab it from him. Give it to him again. Yes. I believe in you. You can do it. Maybe one day. But they have some problems with, they want to be tame around you. They also want to get this. So they're not fully up to the... I need to grab this back. It's mine. I don't want this other blue lizard to affect us. So one of the things we do need to be worrying about is that the green lizard eats the blue lizards. That's something we really don't want to deal with. So our friend blue lizard should come to follow us eventually. Maybe one day. He's being a little strange right now. I don't like this lizard's AI today. Oh, come on. He needs to actually fully enter. Aha, now there is no escape. You're my friend forever. Okay, so the requisites for being a friend with a lizard are just feeding it something. Doesn't matter if it's fully become your friend. When it comes to blue lizards, they generally become a friend when you give them one thing. And they like centipedes a lot as well. But I like to give them 2 just to make sure given extra stats, they don't do anything special. So we need to be in a shelter with a friend that we've given food for 3 cycles in a row. So we're going to be doing that. So technically it could be different lizard between different cycles, but that's not reasonable. All right, just one more. If you noticed, all of the other passages finished except for one. Yes, all you need to do is to be friends with people is to feed them, right?
Sure. Just yummies.
But yeah, it can be a little strange to feed certain lizards. You need to make sure you feed them something that they actually want to eat. Like, you're not going to feed lizards other lizards. In the case of the green lizard, you can feed them the blue lizards. In the past, I've wanted to always do that because they instantly become your friend quite easily. And the green lizards are also not going to die. When there are scavengers in the area, which there can be, they can kind of just kill any lizard that are in the area, which is always annoying because this area is generally very isolated, which is why it's very good to get a friend in comparative to other locations where any type of creature can go through at any time. The green lizard is not where it should be, which is strange. It might have been injured and then despawned itself. It's a very interesting quirk about this game in which if creatures are injured, they'll try to go back to their shelter. But if they have to make it back to their shelter injured, it will break their shelter and nothing will ever spawn there again. Which is strange. There is a mod that actually fixes that, but that's just something that happened. So now this blue lizard is going to be following us for the rest of the way. Sometimes their AI breaks, and they may not be able to path to us correctly. I messed that up. So there's going to be centipedes. So this is generally considered to be the ball pit. One of the ball pit rooms. There's one in outskirts for Hunter as well. This guy's following me a bit too well. The one thing you need about centipedes is that they can't see. They only hear you, and then they can touch you with their heads. However, they can only kill you if both their heads touch you. You can't really stun them that well if their health is high, because they'll just re-grab you instantly. And that's bad. And additionally, you can stand on their bodies and they won't know that you're there. Which is an interesting little quirk. That's very good that that mole is there. The mole is the last lizard of the game. And that man has been murdered. Nice. So, mole's the last lizard of the game. You also cannot see like centipedes. Like you obviously can feel. And there are a lot of them. Hello there. Not really a good spot to kill these guys. Ooh, okay, I did not expect you to be here. Oh, yes, murder him. Good. You want to go down the second one? Yes. Ow. Okay, there was a little lag there, and that's usually where you can tell when the next room loads, which we want to worry about this pipe down here that we're trying to go into really a lot. But normally I'm used to going through this area in the dark, so it's not too bad to me. That was bad that I moved because he turned around. So if we're lying down, we actually don't make sound. Like right now, I'm not making sound. If we saw them light up, that's us making sound. If that makes sense. So the poppers in my hand makes a really loud sound and makes them scared, and I'll run away from it. Please do not climb upwards. Ooh, that's bad. He doesn't know. Don't tell him. Okay, I didn't want to throw that. That's fine. Now we just got tendonized. All right, we got the last kill. Now we just need to save. We need food for that. There's 3 berries to the left. That's the last that we need. And then we're going to be ending the game. As one thing I said before, I am going to say it again. I like to consider the end of the game to be very separate from everything else. I like to consider you only should end the game when you want to. I don't know how else to explain that. It's also going to be, it's going to be a very different experience than some of the stuff we've been going through, but with all the giant ghosts, the fact that we've been increasing our karma and doing very specific, like, virtuous tasks in certain directions can be quite a big indicator of what might happen, but not entirely. You just need to make sure we get everything. And before he dies at the end, we can do the risky shred if you want.
Yes, please. Always go for risky.
No.
Just kidding.
It's just, there's these 2 falls. So outside of all the creatures, there's these 2 falls that you can die on. But if you try to roll on the fall, and then if you press jump at a very specific frame, you jump out of the roll. Give me a second. You jump out of the roll and you don't get hurt at all. You technically don't get hurt at all because you don't have health. You either are alive or dead, but you won't get stunned, you won't get hurt. Nothing will happen. I'm not going to do it on this fall because I'm pretty sure if I fell straight from the top and tried to do it, I would still die because it would be still too much. For the other fall, I have lost personal bests in the past before not realizing that you could even die to that fall, but it's a bit different. So now this is depths. There are no enemies here, period. There is no threat at all, at least to us, except for that fall I just talked about. This is all movement. It's all you and the game at this point. And now watch for the flash. Say cheese.
Cheese.
And that is confirming that you have the maximum karma. That's why the bottom left blinked like that. It also forces us in the top karma. All you have to do is have the ability to be at full karma, to be able to go down here and not be threatened by the things that are here. We'll be passing some of those things. There are, considering any percent exists, there are ways to get by these things down here that normally would attack you. And I'll talk about what they do when we get there and what we do. But we don't need to worry about them because we've technically beaten the game in one of the 2 intended ways. One of them is getting the 4 of the 6 echoes, the other is getting the pebbles. You can mix and match them whatever you want, but 2 different Steam achievements depending on which way you do it. Ending is all the same though. Alright, so we're just moving on. So we're about to enter the any percent glitch room. I might try to do it because we can. See if we get a rock. If I don't get a rock, I can't really... Ooh, we do get it. I messed it up anyway. Unfortunate. So we'll just see what it is. So effectively, there are multiple ways to get by the guardians here. There are 3 of them here. You can despawn them, which is what we normally do. There's 2 different despawns, the slow and the fast one. I tried to go for the fast one, I messed up the back throw. These guys attack you with gravity as soon as you pass literally right here, as I just passed. But we have the mark, so they don't care. And then this is the fall. So I'm going to take it the safe way and do a slide. And then I just have to spam jump. Okay, we got stunned, but we didn't die, so that's good. But what we'd want as an intended result is that we jump out and don't get stunned at all. Which, if you time the jump at the right time, you will jump out of it. But you can die on that fall if you don't do it right, but forcing the slide at the top will always ensure a roll at the bottom, so let's make sure that I don't die. All right, the rest of this is going forward. As you notice, there's starting to be a filter over the game, and it may also be a little bit harder to view it. Not only is it darker, the lights flashing in the background, the filter, but we're also moving a bit slower. The game is starting to go slower and slower as we go on. Now, whether that is because we're in a cave system with no oxygen, because we're about to get to what we're about to get to, or for some other reason left by the ancients, is always up to everyone's interpretation. But regardless, whether we know what's down here or not, we go deeper and deeper down. As we notice, we've achieved enlightenment, which is literally we glow by eating a neuron. Because that we glow, we can see all these little amoeba creatures, slug creatures, etc. in the background, or the foreground. I guess it's the foreground. And they're all going in a very, very specific direction. You can see them in certain locations. certain other locations other than here in depths. Depends on how equivalent they are, but they all go down to the same place, which is over here. And I'm not doing this movement too well, but hopefully do the triple roll though. Yes. One thing I never really talked about is that there's two different styles of rolls, and this wasn't really known for a while. There's the standard roll, which is you holding a direct diagonal. And then there's the 10-degree roll, which is you holding the joystick equivalent of 10 degrees from a horizontal downwards, which allows you to roll by jumping off one tile block heights. There are some keyboard users that use something to help them out with that. And now we are here, the gold room. We can barely see ourselves, and we see ourselves dripping downwards and downwards, with all of these little men's in the background. So time is for the run is going to be in here in a second, but we're going to keep going because we're going to go to old time, which is what I went for, which is at the end of this whole segment. So we'll go down in the giant golden lake. And time is here for the run on that transition.
Nicely done.
But we're going to keep going.
Well, it looks...
Oh. You keep going. You can say it a little bit.
Well, it looks like a while since we're towards the end. Did you have anything that you wanted to say? Maybe give us your plugins, or if anybody was interested in speedrunning this, where to go, or any other information, helping them and guide them to how to speedrun this game.
So while I do this whole ending sequence, which is probably going to take about 5 minutes for me to do this, is the general Rain World Discord. If you look for Rain World on the Discord, also please notice in the background it's getting very interesting. I'm not really going to say anything other than what's happening, other than this is kind of not what anyone would expect from the ending, and I would consider it be separate from everything. Mm-hmm. Don't consider the ending to be part of the game, but it's also really loud. I don't know if that's too much.
I think it's timed, right? This is timed?
This is still technically part of the old run.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, this is not timed in the run, but for rankings, but we still include it.
Got it. Okay.
The reason why we took out this part is because all these worms here can push you around, and it takes a variance of the run by an entire minute, which is not great.
Okay.
So we keep it in as the with loads, because there's no reason to not finish the run.
Okay.
And we get past the void worm layer, and we keep going down.
Okay.
And we're by ourselves. But yes, the general Rain World Discord, if you look up on, I believe it's the Explorer on Rain World, you can see, you can find the general Rain World Discord, and then the movement and the meta and tech channel especially is the place to ask for these things. And now we've got our worm friend. I'm going to try to manipulate it by not moving and facing downwards. Wait for 7 specific movements by him. And then there it is. Now we've got string. Ooh. And now we're going to be going up and down, but no input from me at this point.
Okay, cool. I might have... Did you...
A bit after this, but...
Oh, gotcha.
But, yeah, so... Socials for me, I have like Twitter, which is far_2_cold, and then Twitch is what really matters, which is ice37. As there are some people have been saying, which is my ping as well. But yeah. Mostly I'm streaming on Twitch every Saturday and Sunday. I've been doing a lot of 100% as well as other games I think are interesting whenever I want. But yeah. Rain World Discord. Feel free to message me or any other of the speedrun mods as well. about anyone who is interested in running this game, whether it be any percent to 100%. I do recommend not running any percent because of, wait a second, the high failure rate on the Guardian despawn. All right, so here's the final swim. About 3 minutes till the cutscene ending.
Okay. So you, anyone that's just joined, we're watching Rain World. It's a cute game. A spooky cute game at the moment.
That's why I like to say the ending's different than everything else.
Yeah, because I mean, everything up to this point, right now you're kind of getting into a part where you're kind of seeing some interesting stuff. And yeah, but it's a spooky cute kind of game. But you're playing this little, I call it slug cat. That's still debatable. Yes. But yeah, it's definitely cute in the sense of, like, you know, you're going around and the whole environment's cute. You even had reindeers that were really cute. There's just a whole bunch of cute stuff. But in the meantime, yeah, so definitely appreciated you, Ice, for being on the show. I really appreciate it. You're very talented at this. I was very impressed by the way that you speedrun this game. And so for me, it was just kind of entertaining in that regards. And as well as, like, you are, like, the movement is so weird in terms of just how you move around as the slug cat. And so yeah, I really value that.
I wouldn't even consider myself to be the best by the movement at all. Ice Tobrones, Epimez, and Raccoon have been pushing this game very far. As I do have to say, I know Ice Tobrones is at least here. But yeah, I did want to say that.
Oh, I mean, for anyone, this game is very interesting, and I just appreciate you showcasing this and your community coming here, as well as the Rain World community. It was amazing. If you have any shout outs to anyone from the Rain World community, you can do so now if you like.
Yep, that is Ice Turbo and Sepamez. There are 2 other mods that I work with generally off and on, and both of them are one of the first people that really broke the game quite a lot. Lara did a lot with the movement guide and documenting and naming everything, and then Raccoon also completely broke Pebble's percent recently. There's also a lot of others in the community, a lot of others in the community that have done quite a lot, and it means quite a lot.
Aww. Yeah. Well, big GGs. You know, let us know. Oh, that is such a cute little rain. Oh, slug cat looks so cute right there. Sorry, I got distracted. Anywho, big GGs, and thank you for being on my show. I really, really appreciated this. And, you know, anyone please follow the runner. Amazing, very great to work with, and very great commentary. So, you know, very impressed, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate you all, chat, for being very, very active. It was nice to see, like, a lot of questions and everything like that. We are gonna just get going for our next game. Make sure to stay tuned for our next game, which is Karmaflow, the rock opera video game. It is gonna be quite interesting. It does involve a cute character, but you're gonna get some music in there. Anywho, we'll be back in a few minutes. Why, hello everybody, welcome back to Legally Cute. Tonight's stream is the Cute Weird stream. Right now we're gonna be having an awesome game. I'm hoping everyone, you're all in for a treat. If you haven't seen this, you're all in for a treat. This is like my favorite game in terms of just like music and everything else. The runner is Midnight Vesper. Definitely, you want to have a few words, Midnight?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do you have a few words, Midnight?
Oh, yes. Hi. My name is Midnight Vesper. This is Karmaflow, the rock opera video game. You'll find out within the first couple of seconds why it's called the rock opera video game. All the music that you will be here it will be done in a traditional opera style, meaning that there is very little actual voice acting as much as there is everything done through song. So all the cutscenes and everything like that will be sung. And the musicians here are actual musicians in actual rock bands, a lot from the Canadian metal scene and a lot more so from the European metal scene. So if you enjoy hard rock, if you enjoy metal, you're going to enjoy Karmaflow's music. The soundtrack was actually originally composed by the Metropole Orkest, which is the orchestra from the Netherlands, if memory serves me correct. It's a Grammy Award-winning orchestra with creative music. So if you are all ready, let's go ahead and go in 3, 2, 1, go. So the first thing you're going to hear is a little interlude from our beautiful narrator known as Charlotte Vessels of the band Delane. I believe they're from Finland. And with this and everything along those lines, you're going to hear kind of everything that happens throughout this entire game. Charlotte Vessels, as the narrator, kind of gives you an idea of each individual world and why you are being placed in the ways of this. I did see this. Reminds me of an old strategy game, Rhapsody, musical RPG. Very, very similar in the concept of the PlayStation version of Rhapsody, a musical adventure. A little bit different genre, but we're going to see this. What you're going to see in terms of gameplay is a puzzler platformer-based system. So there's going to be a lot of puzzles that we normally would have to place, and there's going to be a lot of platforming that you're going to see as well. The catch with all of this, though, is we are using an earlier build on Steam. This game is only available on Steam, was released as a crowdfunded game in 2005, and you're going to hear a lot of famous artists that have come out since this game was released in 2015. It's from a simple engine or a simple company called Basecamp Games. This is one of their few games actually in the actual platforming world. I believe from here on out they move straight to mobile games. You are controlling the Karma Keeper. The Karma Keeper essentially is the judge, the jury, and the executioner of each individual world. So the whole thing is we have to revolve around dissonance. Dissonance is essentially based around the issues that happen between each individual one. So what you're going to hear immediately is what we had here at the beginning with the muse and the conductor. And the muse and the conductor were both essentially really, really good friends, possible lovers at one point. And due to dissonance, they ended up just kind of breaking up, kind of hinting everything else along those ways. And things happened away. So we're going to go straight onto here. And this game's a little bit fidgety. You can see him. Am I actually legit stuck here? Wow. I can get myself out, but oh my God, there we go. That's all right. So we're gonna go over here. And we're gonna be flying on over here. And this is going to be our protokeeper. This will be basically a way to kind of help explain how you do all your controls in terms of your karma points. So you're gonna end up taking karma points and giving karma points away. This is actually sung by Boss Dolmas. My apologies if I'm actually pronouncing his last name correctly. If I pronounce any of these names incorrectly, please feel free in chat to tell me I am pronouncing these names incorrectly. Boss Dolmas is actually a solo artist discovered from the one of the composers of this, from I believe also from the Netherlands, who is the drummer and creator of Zeistis, and that's where a lot of this comes into play. So you can go on YouTube and watch the entire Zeistis concert. If you like the music here, you probably like that as well. And I went over there and got that save point because this is our first kind of out of bounds trick. And this can be a little bit, okay, good. So in the past, this is such a harsh thing to get past that a lot of times you'll fall off that cliff. And if you don't save, you have to basically restart the entire game. So the fact that I got it first try is actually really nice. So we have these orbs over here, and those are the karma points. You notice we took the life away from some of those plants. And in the process, we took those lives away. we were able to use them to our advantage. I almost said the thing, you're right. And so now we're actually able to fly. Because we went out of bounds at the beginning, we saved ourselves a lot of minutes from that. And you can see where it's telling us to go down that road, going down that road section. We're not going to do that. We're speedrunners. So we're going to fly down this route here. I'm going to hit that tree, not because I need to, but because it's there and the tree's there. We want to make sure the tree, gets bonked every now and then. So for the record, this is probably the hardest trick you're going to have in the entire game. So I'm going to, it's very, very based off of positions. And I got it first try. Nice. That is a very, very, very tricky spot to do. And it's nice to be able to get that off right off the bat. So we went out of bounds. Now we're going back in bounds. You can see that happen a lot. And now I'm going to go over here, probably get hit by these spikes here. And I dodged it. Nope, I spoke too soon. Okay, that's what happens there. And now we're going to go on here. Here, and the game will not let me. Okay, there we go. You can see where a lot of times there are walls, invisible walls, because the game's not supposed to, you're not supposed to go down this road at all. So now we're going to glide over here. The mapping here on the controller, and you can do keyboard mouse, but all the runners that I know of use controller only, can be a little tricky because of the way the buttons are, that sometimes you can accidentally double jump when you meant to jump once. So I'm going to go up here, 1, 2, 3, let it go. And then now we're floating here. I've skipped a lot of this level already. So we skipped a lot of issues involving basically telling the story of the muse and the conductor. Essentially how the muse is very much in the sense of loving the conductor, the conductor is loving on the muse, and the muse is very much caught to dissonance, and so we have the conductor who laments throughout all of this. Again, we're going to go through all of this. And again, all the sound effects you will hear are all from live instruments. There are no MIDIs in any way, shape, or form that are used throughout this entire thing. All the instrumentation was recorded live. Let me put that through. Like I said once before, from the Metropole Orchette. We have other musicians from bands such as Epica, Within Temptation. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of some. I think Mayan was in there as well. And we're going to hear from some of those artists as well. We do skip a lot. We skipped an artist that I can never remember their individual name, but is actually a throat singer, which you don't hear a lot about, is throat singing. And yep, that's what I thought. Okay. So because I bonked on the wall here, what had happened was I moved a little bit too slow, and in return, the wind kind of put me back into that spot, which is fine. So I got to make sure this is right. So I'm going to see if I did that there correctly. The soundtrack is, the game is like $5 on Steam. The soundtrack in general, I think, is $15 for the actual high quality FLAC, which is a lossless format. Okay, I did not do that correctly, which is fine. I've been kind of fooling around with that a little bit last night, so there we go. And again, this is another puzzle we're supposed to go forth and learn more about how our karma points are, but the devs decided to put a nice wall there that apparently is not a wall. So this whole puzzle that takes about 20 minutes or so is now done. Because, walls are invisible. And did I get it? No, I didn't. Okay, that's fine. Oh. Okay, that's new. And so naturally, you're supposed to go through this section, which brings you to our next section over here, which is where you would fight your actual first boss of this particular game. And again, we skipped a lot of this section already, and we're going to skip the boss fight as well. So,
which is unfortunate because it is a good song.
Oh yeah, it's a great song. There's a lot of great songs in here that you completely miss out in this speedrun, which makes me sad because I'm a musician myself. Is that a little too low? No, okay. All right, so.
That's never happened before.
Oh, I've said that. I've come close to saying that twice already. So now in here, here you can boost through, which I've been trying to do, but for the sake of the run, I'm actually not going to, because this section right here is very, very tricky. So it's a very tricky section there. Dash on over here. You're going to see that double jump dash basically as my way of moving throughout this entire game. All right. And from there, we are done with the first boss. We are basically done with this entire world. We have a 3 to 5 minute cutscene that we cannot skip because we will actually be making decisions in this. So what's interesting about Karmaflow is, when I said earlier you played judge, jury, and executioner and everything else along those lines, the point is simply this. So you have these, so in this particular section, you're going to have the muse and the conductor. The muse is voiced by Mark Hudson, who is the new lead singer of Dragon Force. And if you've ever played Guitar Hero, you know Dragon Force as this song, Through the Fire and Flames. Very, very big in the power metal world. The muse is actually the amazing and super talented Alicia Whitegloose from the band Arch Enemy, and has worked with Cradle of Filth and everything else along those lines. Worked with so many independent artists. Alicia is a very, very, very fantastic singer, and you'll hear her singing, and she can actually growl and sing at the same time. So you heard her growling, this is her singing. So a very, 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 very powerful, very important range. So what you're going to see here in a second is a choice. So you have a choice here that you can go back and forth. And this determines each individual song and how you can actually play the game. So there is actually a true ending in this word that's basically based on the soundtrack. So if you listen to the soundtrack and you figure out what you want to do to make everything like that. So with this, we can infuse the help the conductor, or we can extract the help the muse. Because of the length of the song, we're actually going to go ahead and infuse, and we're going to go straight on into this. So in the meantime, while I have these beautiful songs, if chat has had any questions so far, and we had a chance to record them, I will answer as many as I possibly can. If there is any. If not, I can talk so much about music through this entire game.
Hey, talk about music. I love music. Give me the music. Give me all the music.
Actually, I saw that someone did want to hear some of the music, so I'm gonna be a little quiet for this, so we can kind of get a hint of the music. I seriously enjoy the fact that individuals are coming in here and saying that they're sold in the game just because of the music, and that was kind of what sold me. And again, the soundtrack is available, I believe, on their Bandcamp. So you can actually buy a limited edition or not a limited edition. You can buy a special edition on Steam that has the actual soundtrack as well as the game. And if you go, I believe, on their Bandcamp, it may not be active anymore. But if it is still active, you can actually get the deluxe soundtrack, which is available in lossless audio or 320 kilobits per second for an MP3. And if you don't understand that, basically what that means is 320 kilobits for MP3 is the highest quality of an MP3 you can get. A FLAC, I forget what it stands for, is essentially how they wanted it to sound in the sense of on a vinyl. So if you like that complete pure sound of vinyl and you want to have it in a digital format, you basically go with FLAC. So who is the voice of the conductor? Also, the conductor is Mark Hudson of the band Dragon Force. And again, we will be using an earlier build. So it's sad because in the next world has Lindsay Schoolcraft from Cradle of Filth. And you're going to hear Danny Filth later on in this game. But she ends up playing the shaman, and the shaman is something that happens very much in World 2, but you don't, because we're using an earlier build, you don't hear any of Lindsay Schoolcraft's characters throughout the entire area. Thank you, free lossless audio codec. Thank you so much for bringing out what FLAC means. And so now we have another choice. And again, this determines different songs, it determines different versions. So we can basically infuse help the conductor, but we're actually going to play a little bit nice, and we're going to free them together, but we're going to take the world with us in the same process. So this is actually the end of World 1. You have 5 worlds total, technically 4.5, but when we get to World 5, we'll kind of explain why I say it like that. And yes. Oh, someone threw that out there. Yeah. Tony Kakko of the band Sonata Arctica is actually in this game as well. It actually has, for a crowd-funded game, it has an amazing soundtrack of singers in the metal world. Like I said, you're gonna hear of I just lost her. Charlotte Vessels of formerly of Delane. She just went solo. I hope personally that she can do both, because I'm a big Delane fan. I would have loved to see them live. We're gonna have them. We're gonna have Epica. We're gonna have Mayan. We're gonna have Amaranth, Tristania, Cradle of Filth. So we have a whole slew. So there was that. The story that is in this particular world, essentially, again, if you actually had a chance to read what's happening, because Charlotte kind of explains what's going on in this particular world. So we have these 4 shaman who end up kind of guiding this, or going through this guide, and the guide basically kind of blocks between going from this world to the next world, and the guide would essentially listen to your sorrows, listen to your entire life, and decide whether or not you were actually able to go to the next particular world or not. And someone came into this world so foul, so full of corruption, is what it says, that the guide ended up going, was overtaken by the dissonance. And now we're going to come in and figure out what we can do to kind of fix the world in some way, shape, or form. Whether we have it take over and kind of destroy everything, or we help the guide to go back to what the guide was. And you're going to see, essentially, throughout these different worlds, they're all kind of different atmospheres. So the first one was kind of a lament of love, so to say. So in that aspect, it was very snowy, it was very cold, it was very kind of, I feel, uneasy, so to say. And here, because everything's been left dissonance and no one's been able to take care of it, you can see where everything's kind of turned to rust, that this grass that you see here is just outgrown, no one's taking care of it, and no one in general is taking care of this entire world. And so this is where you kind of experience the next section, is where the colors really kind of put a play here. So you see the difference between the orange and the purple. Purple represents... I have to figure out how to properly phrase that. But you can probably have an idea based off of what that happens. So purple will essentially take away your karma points, and orange would be your karma points. So we're gonna go through this section. I'm a little bit behind there. And then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go off the beaten path. And I'm gonna go through here, dash. Sorry, what was that? I thought I heard something. So what you saw there was that little buddy there is there for a nice puzzle pieces that we were supposed to see in World 1. we kind of briefly see here in World 2. But again, you're going to see more in World 4, essentially what the point of that is. But again, it's for the puzzle base that you're supposed to go around and collect karma points to essentially fix all the puzzles and feed your way to the next section. We don't do it here because, well, we're basically done now. So what's interesting about this world in this particular patch is if you go all the way up here and you go through this section here, you're done. So the entire puzzle area with Lindsay Schoolcraft as the shaman, we never see here. We have our fixed ending, which is kind of with the camera panning here, because you're supposed to talk to all 4 of the shaman, going through this entire map, gathering the shaman who all play different instruments to all try and convince the guide of what's happening. But because we don't do that, and we found in an earlier build that you can go this direction and just trigger this ending, for the speedrun purposes, we go ahead and do that. And that is actually Mark Jansen, who is of Mayan and the band Epica. And if you know of the band Epica, you know of the other lead singer, Simone Simmons. Don't worry, we're going to talk about Simone later in this game. So go ahead.
I did have a question from chat, and I don't know if you mentioned this, and if you did, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the purple thing that we see around the whole entire place, that's known as decay, correct?
It's known as I just lost the word all of a sudden. It's extract. So essentially it doesn't have life. When it's purple, it doesn't have life. When it's orange, it has life. So when you see what happens there is when we take the orbs, we're taking life away for something like that. And then we use that to give life to something else, and that's what we use to kind of solve certain puzzles throughout this entire area. I thought Cradle of Filth was a made-up band for the IT crowd. No, Cradle of Filth is a legit band. They are from Canada, if memory serves me correct. They've been around for a good long time, very dominant in the metal industry. So, World 3 is probably the hardest in the speedrun because of all the platforming. So while World 1 and World 2, which is essentially Act 1, which was actually released first in this version of Karmaflow, Act 2, which is essentially Worlds 3, 4, and 5, was a separate entity of it. But now when you buy the game, you get basically Acts 1 and 2. Oh, they're from London. I'm thinking of Arch Enemy. That's what it was. Okay. Oh, I missed that orb. Oh no. That's okay though. There's plenty of backups. So this is kind of the harder section because you kind of if there's ever a spot in the game to where the orbs play a factor, it is in World 3. Most notably the very end of World 3. So we have to be very cautious in this world particularly about it. The other catch is because we're on an earlier build, this section crashes. So there's a very potential that this section of here will crash. Luckily, it is the beginning of Act 2, so if it does crash, I can just start from Act 2 again. So that is Marie Angela Demetris of Cristania. So again, you have a very, very good... I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, I think we're fine. Here. Alyssa is from Canada. Thank you. See, I appreciate when I say something in chat says you're, and corrects me. I really appreciate that. Okay, yeah, we're good. So for this world in particular, I'm not going to be talking a whole lot. So if there's parts that, any questions, anything like that's popped up, now would be a great time to talk about them, because this is a very, very, very heavy platformy world for me. I will do the best that I can talk. But essentially what will happen here is there's a lot of songs and a lot of explanation about what you're going to do here.
Yeah,
but we're gonna go ahead and talk about that. Go ahead, Drew. Oh. All right. Now you can boost through this, but for the sake of it being kind of marathon safe, I'm not going to, because when I try to boost for this, for my runs, it is very, very, very much in that sense of I can fall very, very easily. So I am going to try to do this without falling. Okay. Normally I use, occasionally you can see kind of a, there it is, that orange circle. I kind of use that as a guide. All right, so I'm gonna go all the way over here. Go here, and that's gonna push me this way. And again, all of this are spots that you're really not supposed to do. I'm gonna go through here, drop that all 3. You can see where I'm basically giving life to take away life, or yeah. And then let's see if I was a little late. Okay, we're good. All right, there's that. Okay. All right, so I should be good now with everything. I grab a couple extra orbs, by the way, just as a safety strat whenever I can, just in case, you know, there is something that happens and I've somehow made a mistake or a boo-boo every now and then, so. And then we're gonna go through here. And then I'm gonna, this could be a little bit tricky because there are a lot of walls here. So if I end up, if I'm a little bit too high, if I'm a little bit too low, I can actually mess up and hit an invisible wall and the character will die. I'm a little high, but I think I'm okay right now.
Yeah, that floating mechanism is not easy. I played this game casually, and yeah, I've gotten myself into some tricky spots because of it, but it's not easy in terms like you're just floating a lot and stuff like that.
All right, so we're good. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wait for the save part on the bottom to disappear so we can reload the game so the game knows we're here. If we don't, the game will essentially go off and say, you're not supposed to be here right now. Why are you here? We're not going to let you pass. But if you reload the save, the game's like, oh yeah, you're totally supposed to be here. So now we have a nice little auto scroller. And I didn't talk about the time signature here being in 7/8, I believe. Essentially, if you want to know more about traditional music, it's in common time or 4/4/4, which essentially says there are 4 beats per individual measure. And then when you divide that into eighth notes, you're going to have 8 beats per measure. And because of this, the way it particularly works here is there are 7 beats per measure. And you can kind of count that in your head. That's one of the reasons why if you kind of bop your head to it, it doesn't always sync up. So those little pieces of air that they're using to attack me can throw you back down. It won't kill you. It won't do anything else along those lines, but it'll just make this section a little bit harder and harder until you actually figure out the pattern. And for what it's worth, I've messed up this pattern I don't know how many times. Just me just mentally just going, oh no. So, and then we'll go here, and that should be the last one, and then we get that. Get rid of the 2 on the side.
Are we gonna tell chat our little surprise that we have for them?
Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead. You tell them, chat.
If chat wants to decide some of the endings, we can.
Okay. So chat, get ready for the end. Midnight Vesper will have something waiting. You get to determine the fate of what's gonna happen to us at the end.
So this is Tony Kakko. Tony Kakko has such an iconic voice being part of Sonata Arctica. And I actually got to see Sonata Arctica free once. That was super fun. And I believe I am actually pronouncing Tony Kako's last name correctly. Again, chat, if I'm mispronouncing it, please correct me. It's not, as a metalhead, you know, as a fan of this music in my own right, I want to make sure I pronounce names correctly. So essentially what's going to happen here is we have a choice at the very end of this whether we want to help the Sun Moon, which is Tony Kako, or the Moon Sister, which we're going to hear from in a minute, is Eileen's Ride of the band Amaranth. Amaranth, one of those also very iconic progressive, or not progressive, power metal bands. So there's a chance we can get an audio glitch here and hear what's going to happen here twice. I don't know if we're going to get the audio glitch here. It does nothing for the run other than just change things. We did not. That is fine. We will still hear that in general. And so now we have the, traditional water level. But don't worry, this water level is not as bad as one would think.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Because once again, thanks to one of the other runners, Random Pink Bunny. Shoutouts to Random Pink Bunny and Seductive Spatula for doing an amazing job of just kind of really helping route some of this stuff. We're basically able to kind of go through this whole section with relative ease because we can kind of go in between these walls, go through this section right here. Ooh. So, all right. And then we're going to wait for this load to pick up again because while you're here, you can actually load into the boss fight. So again, once that load happens, we go straight into here. We do skip a couple songs, which is sad, but we basically go off and fight our next boss, which is this giant fish. Fitting, right? So I'm going to count 10 here. This should take about 10 hits each. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the camera should pan on over, just like that, showing you that we have actually hit the fish. So the tricky thing about the fish is if you don't do this, if you don't necessarily know what's happening, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think that's right, 9, I'll give an extra one, 10, 11. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay, that was good. So the fish can actually hit you there, and if you get thrown into any of these purple pools, you have to do the entire fight over. The problem is, what you're gonna see here is I'm gonna get hit by the fish and to trigger this cutscene, and I can still fall into a pool, and then I have to redo the fight, even though the cutscene has been triggered. So let's hope that doesn't happen. I think I'm safe. Okay, there we go. That is the voice of Ali's Ride of the band Amaranth. Yeah, it's so nice to see that. To see so many hard rockers and metalheads just come into this chat and just be supportive. Y'all are awesome.
And you're all cute.
Yes.
But that's why I wanted to show this game. This game is just such a treat. It's a hidden gem in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. I remember reading it, and the first time I heard it, I was just like, a hard rock opera. I said I didn't even have to hear anything. I was just sold right then and there.
Well, and it's still cute. Actually, like the overall aesthetics of the game is pretty cute.
Yeah, I was gonna say the artwork that they have here is a very unique art. Everything here is completely done from scratch. That nothing's been copied, nothing's been taken from anything else. It's artists who came in and decided that they wanted to create a very innovative game and a very innovative platformer with the concept of hard rock music as a divide.
Oh, so you get a question from chat.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
So, question, why would we settle with either one? It just depends. You get a different ending. So essentially when you play the game casually, you get a chance to decide what ending you want. And if you do the right endings in the right order, you basically get the true ending, which is a secret hidden song. So what would normally happen in that particular section is if we did everything casually, there's a chance we get a hidden song. But because we're going in a particular way, we're not going to get the hidden song. It also may slow the run down a little bit, but only by a couple seconds. So right here we can extract here to help the moon god, the bird goddess. But we're not going to. I love how it actually changes your angle too. So we're gonna go down this road, and then we're gonna fly over here. Now would be the chime if anyone wants to make a decision. Because you have a nice couple minutes here. Oh yeah, I can move. If you watch my character, I can still move in this particular cutscene. We use that to our advantage while setting up for the next section.
You know, that is an interesting topic in terms of just, you know, like different areas have, you know, like musicians are different in different areas and the cultures and stuff like that. I find music very interesting because it's, in my opinion, very universal. And it's very, you know, broad. And that's what I love about music.
No, I will easily agree with that. Go ahead. You know, yeah. I live, I'm not going to say where I live, but I live in an area to where there's a very eclectic style of music. And I live in a section of the world where when you hear that style of music, you automatically associate it. And a lot of the instrumentations that are in that didn't even originate from this area, but when they're all combined in a very fast tempo, you completely understand, like, that's the music of that area. But that has been integrated into other genres, into other things based off of that.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just enjoying the music.
Oh no, you're fine. I think and Chad is too. It's so hard to do. It's hard to do that because for myself, who loves the soundtrack, who loves to sing all this, it's so fun to actually go through that. So I did see that someone wanted to side with the Moon Sister. So we're gonna side with the Moon Sister, and essentially what would happen is it's a battle between who owns this particular land. So what we're going to do here is, as you can see, we're to infuse to take away the Moon Sister's power. We're actually going to give her power back. There we go. Okay. And we basically decided that the Moon Sister is the one who's the rightful heir of the throne. I don't take this section in the speedrun, so it's really interesting to hear it.
Oh, which one do you normally take?
Oh, I usually end up going with the Sun Brother. It's a little bit faster.
Oh, got it. Mm-hmm. That's fair.
But yeah, that's really the only reason why, though, is because a lot of times the songs that we pick are just faster in general. But yeah, look at the artwork, the custom artwork that you see in each individual character is just so nice.
Mm-hmm. And it's all cute.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I actually appreciate this speedrun, like, on so many levels. I mean, the number one obviously was the music, but also it is cute aesthetically, and the art style is unique. But on top of the fact that it is a pretty chill speedrun, and it has a little bit of everything. It has tech, it has different, what do you call it? It has like different kind of genres, like different sections that have like little hints of stuff. And I don't know, it's just a very, it's a very like good game, and it's just, you know, the music is amazing, and I don't know, you get more entertained, I think. I'm surprised you even speedrun this. I think I just would sit there and watch it and be like, oh, my this is my speed run, everybody. 5 hours later, I'm still listening to the music.
Yeah. It's one of those things that as soon as I heard about it, I said, I have to speedrun this. And I just left it on the shelf for so long. And I remember finally, like, at one point going through the leaderboards and seeing, like, oh my gosh, it's around an hour now. That's not bad. And I watched Random Pink Bunny's video on it. And then I immediately asked her, how do you do the skip in World 2? I can't do it. And that's when I found out that you have to use an earlier build. And from then on out, it was I'm learning this. I'm going to play this so much. This game was built in Unity 3. So in World 4, excuse me, in World 4, we're not going to hear any music because we skip all the songs in this, which is sad because we have this great song called, it was essentially The Hero in the Heart from Henning Basse. And again, if I pronounce that wrong, I apologize. From the band Mayan. And then we have Daniel De Joe, I believe, from Textures. Again, big names in the metal industry. So, kind of the same thing we were talking about in terms of themes here. You can see it's very desert, very desert based. So this whole thing revolves around a hero and a heart, and the hero wants one thing, the heart doesn't necessarily want it. There's dissonance in the sense of a body, and I akin this to being essentially more along the lines of like dehydration. Remember to hydrate. Have you seen me hydrating this whole time? So that's kind of why it's in a little bit of a desert area. And that threw me up. And this is the one time we're actually going to be using the save point to transport us somewhere. So we have this particular section over here. We have this beautiful cutscene where we're actually being catapulted to this area. And once we land here, you see the little white orb that we were talking about earlier. So we're going to have that come into play. An all songs category would be really fun. I'm not quite sure how we haven't looked at that yet, but it's now. So we're going to reload here, Old Lands 2. And it's going to warp us to where the load save is. Now, the reason why we do this is because it's right next to where everything is in terms of us collecting our karma points, which we have to use to get to the next section here. So we have to collect a certain amount of karma points. Why did I get stuck there? Go ahead.
I was going to say, I demand an all songs category. No pressure.
I mean, I can try that. That is something that an all endings and a true ending have been in my mind of stuff that can be done, or stuff that I do want to try to figure out how to actually route properly.
Well, if anyone was interested in joining the speedrun too, like in the community and wanted to help, you're more than welcome.
Oh yeah. Currently there is no Discord at the moment for this. So if you wanted to, you could always follow me at twitch.tv/midnight_Vesper. And I would easily be willing to sit down here and hack out ways to make that so we could go ahead and make these other categories possible. Because I'd love to see a true ending, and I'd love to see an all songs category.
I would too. I mean, maybe I could help you out sometime in the future.
That'd be awesome.
Because I like, honestly, routing in video games. That's probably my favorite part of speedrunning.
Oh, I got it. Wow, that's nice. I like never get that. I always get kind of stuck there, and I have to take an extra step. So this whole section is just about basically grabbing all of these karma points. And I take an extra jump there because I don't want to. Did I get it? Okay, yeah. Okay. Now, if you saw the thing on the bottom there, it was like a little bit of a green section. That is a puzzle that you'd normally do casually. And so what I like to do, I just like to get on top of this and then throw everything out there, which triggers this area. And there's another whole puzzle section down here, but we're not going to do that. Because one day, Random Pink Bunny was just floating around and said, huh, there's a hole here. I wonder what's over here. And because of that, we found this section. What is this section, you ask? Well, as you can see, it's not built. So, ooh, that's not going to be an issue, but welcome to Out of Bounds.
This game is just full of surprises and it keeps on giving.
Yeah. That's all I like about it. So, like, yeah, there's so much to hear. You go take alternate paths, you go out of bounds a lot. You listen to a lot of music. There's a lot of intensity in terms of when the speedrun happens versus when it actually happens. So now we're going to fall for a good while to get back in bounds. And I have to position myself correctly here because I have to find the hero. And I think I'm in the right spot. There you are, hero. I see you over there. And I want to hit that wall there because it gives me ample time to make sure I'm in the right area. So that, oh. There we go. That was just like a pixel off. So there's World 4.
That is it. I did have a question from chat.
Yeah.
If whenever you have a moment.
Go ahead.
As far as endings go, do the decisions at the end of the world have an effect on the next world, or do they just change the final scene / song in that world?
They only change based off of the song. So they don't necessarily change how the next world works, sadly. But if you do everything in the right way, you get a secret song in the ending. Ooh, that may have been too low. I'm gonna try and save it. Okay, no, okay. So what happened in World 4 is we're supposed to get an extra boost that we use throughout this entire section. Because we skip all the songs that are in there, and because we skip basically the entire world, we don't ever hear the songs, but we still get the ability because it's mandatory that you need to have it here. If you notice, everything kind of looks familiar here. So remember when I said you do 4.5 worlds? Well, this is the half of the world, because this is essentially everything in worlds 1 through 4 combined into one, kind of puzzle piece. And that's because in this, you fight your main villains here are the creator and the destroyer. The creator and the destroyer are the ones who build all these worlds. And then eventually, it turns out that you have to come in here and decide whether or not you want to create everything and let them kind of always have that endless cycle of life. Oh, that might have been, oh wow. Ooh, that was low, but that still worked. Or you can decide to say, no, I'm going to leave everything exactly how it is. So with that being said, now that I have a couple seconds, this does nothing to the run at all. So this is a decision between Danny Filth and Simone Simmons. I will let you all decide, because the creator is Danny Filth of Cradle of Filth. The destroyer is Simone Simmons of the band Epica. If you ever wanted to hear both of those two in one song, this is the song for you. And once again, we're going to go out and take another beaten path. We're going to go ahead and go here. And we're going to jump onto this. We're going to use another boost. Make sure it aligns to roughly about center. We're going to boost back over to this side. And then I'm going to hover, let go, boost. Here, the second jump, dash. And then we're just going to fall to endlessly nothing until we find out that we hit the save point that's up there. And I'm thinking I am on a different controller, so naturally, for some odd reason, the save point won't work. But it's okay. So this is Judgment. Ignore that Karma Keeper. That is a dummy Karma Keeper. The fun thing about this section is an auto scroller on a 3D plane. So it's a 2D auto scroller on a 3D plane. Essentially, what this means is you're in 3D, but you don't know about it because, well, it looks like it's 2D. Oh yeah, platforms move. Platforms are timed. There's an invisible wall. You have plenty of invisible walls to mess with you, and they can come and go. So if you stand on there too long to make a decision, the platform will disappear and you will actually, fall and have to do the whole thing again. It's also timed to the music. So if you can get past this whole section to the music cue, then you're fine. But here, as you can see, you're still in that 3D plane. I have to essentially try to figure out where all these places are on the bottom of the map without being shown. And we're good. Now we have a great long song. So, chat, Simone or Danny, whichever one you decide. Essentially, we can destroy the universe or we can recreate the universe. And yes, that is every save that I had. No, I'm kidding. That's every time I've played this game and had a game over. That's all the same Karma Keeper.
I'm gonna go for which one have I not done?
Oh, that's a good question. We got one for Danny.
No. So far it's destroy. I see destroy.
Destroy's in the lead.
Destroy's in the lead at the moment, chat.
Oh, it's tied.
We do have a poll going. Oh, it's tied. Oh no. I might have to pick, huh? Oh, recreate. Recreate's good up there.
Oh, wow.
Oh no. Okay, I see one for destroy. Oh, we're back. It was recreate.
Simone wins.
Nicely done.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Very, very close.
All right. So we're almost done with the game. Got two tricks here. One. Okay. So time is coming up. As soon as the cutscene plays, I'll let you know when time is happening. And that's your final decision for the entire world. So once again, get ready on time. There is actually an invisible wall up there, so you have to do that. And time.
Ooh. Ooh, it's close to your PV.
Oh, really?
Kinda. Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. I'm a bit of a... It's like a minute and a few seconds
That's still
off.
not terrible.
Yeah, that's actually really good. It's a good time.
That was a really good run.
I mean, honestly, it was a solid run.
Yeah, it was a very solid run.
While we're at it, let everybody know who you are, where to find you, if they have questions, if they want to start speedrunning this. I know you mentioned it earlier, but for anyone new that came in.
Yeah. So once this is Karmaflow, the rock opera video game. If you all are interested, we currently do not have a Discord up and running for this particular game. The game is available only on Steam at the moment. Keep in mind that it came out in 2015. They haven't touched the game in a good long while, but it's roughly $5 on Steam. So that is also really, really good. If you're interested, you can always follow me. You can always come into my channel. It's twitch.tv/midnightvesper. You can always go through anything else along those particular lines. And I would love to sit down with anyone who's really interested in learning about properly down patching and learning this run. I'd love to see more runners of this. It's a great speed run, especially if you're a huge fan. Oh, I see that, especially if you're a huge fan of the hard rock and metal world. And there you can kind of see the cast and everything else along those lines. There's still a lot of other musicians that we didn't even touch throughout this entire game. So if you like that music, and you like puzzler platformers, it's definitely a game worth checking out casually because it's a really fun puzzler platformer. And yeah, if you all want to follow me, I'm twitch.tv/midnightvesper. I am also a GDQ hotfix showrunner host for The Bargain Bin. It is every other Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. It is all about speedrunning games that, well, like this one, are, that don't necessarily hurt your wallet or purse or however you carry money. So we have all of that taken care of.
By the way, you have to reload and play the right one. No, I'm just kidding.
I have to reload. Actually, what I can do, if we have time, I can actually play the other ending.
Do we have time? I think, how long is it? I don't think it's that long. Yeah,
it's not that long. It'll be probably like
okay.
Less than 2 minutes.
Okay, then go ahead.
Yeah. Since we have it, so since we're right here, I can go ahead and so that you all can kind of see.
Encore?
There you go. And then
give them encore. This is reloading. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be quiet.
And that's that. I have to say, Danny's screams are iconic in that industry. So yeah, I cannot think of anything else. Thank you also very, very much. Thank you, Rue, for letting me showcase this game. It's one of my favorite speedruns of all time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm very happy to showcase this game. I think it's cute. Today's stream was kind of spooky cute and weird cute. So we got a little bit of fun, cute stuff. But definitely, I will be back again 2 Fridays from now, or not 2 Fridays. I could talk on November 19th at 10 p.m. EST. And I appreciate everyone here and everyone joining us. And I hope you all have fun. I sure enjoyed myself. I sure learned a lot tonight about Rain World. And and thank you, Midnight, and thank you, Tech, and thank you, everyone. You're all cute, and I appreciate all of you. And I hope everyone has a good night. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Shout outs to Ice. I didn't say that earlier. That run was fantastic, and I just want to say shout outs to Ice one more for that amazing run.
Mm-hmm. And yes, thank you, Ice, again for the amazing run. Thank you, Midnight, for the amazing run. And thank you, everyone. I'm super happy that y'all were here and you enjoyed it and got to experience this.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, on that note, it's good to end here, and we'll be back. Just a few reminder real quick. On Monday, there will be the community spotlight featuring the Marvel Spider-Man and Miles Morales on the PS5 starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. Be there, okay? It's going to be an amazing show. All right. Good night, y'all. I'm going to go peace out.